Hello everyone, welcome to episode 42 of Passion Project, the speedrun and gaming variety show that encourages anyone and everyone in the speedrun and greater gaming communities to showcase their passions in games. My name is Amber Cypher and I will be your host tonight, and if you've got a passion project of your own, go to gamesdonequick.com/hotfix, find the How section near the top of the page, and click the link to submit it to the show. Whether that's grinding speedruns, learning and routing new categories, or breathing new life into a game in an unconventional way, Passion Project is the best place on Twitch to showcase what you love most in speedrunning and gaming. So before we get started with the showcase that we have planned tonight, I just want to remind everyone, if you missed the last show, that Minecraft run was really cool. It'll end up on our YouTube, so along with all of our other shows that you've ever missed. So visit our YouTube and subscribe over at youtube.com/gamesdonequick. And tonight, we've got something special for you. So last year on Hotfix, we hosted the Prince of Persia, the Lost Crown community, following the game's January 2024 release, to see the early development thing to see. But what does it look like now, a year later? That's the question that we're going to be answering tonight, as I'm joined by members of the TLC community for a 4-category showcase. And later on tonight, we'll also be checking out another cool indie speedrun from a fantastic game called Vivid Lope. So make sure you stay tuned in for the whole show. Kicking off this Prince of Persia showcase tonight is Wamba and their commentators Kareem and Eraser with the Any % No Restrictions category. Thank you all for joining me tonight. How are you doing?
Hello everyone. I'm fine. We are really excited, to showcase the game and everything we worked for the past year.
Yeah. So, Eraser, you were the one who was part of the showcase last year, and if I recall, there was only a couple of categories at the time that was shown off. Do you want to go ahead and explain what's going on tonight?
Yeah, for sure. So last year the game just got released, so we weren't sure in which direction to go. Now things are really clear. So tonight we are gonna see the Any % No Restriction run by Wamba, which is basically any % with all glitches possible. So estimate is 25 minutes, so it's gonna go really, really fast. Then we have the Mask of Darkness, which is the DLC of the game that got released last September. This is also a really short run, and it's gonna be in restricted rookie. So for restricted, you just have to consider it as no major glitches, basically, but with a little bit more of arbitrary decision that you can take due to the name, without arguing about semantics. And then we are gonna have a showcase of the hidden boss that is unlocked after finishing the entire game, which is the Artaban showcase. It's gonna be by Karim. And it's a 5-minute run, just so that you can see what the greatest fight in the game is. And finally, we're gonna have a race in Any % Restricted. So again, think of it as no major glitches, between the 2 best runners of the game, which are Antoine and Karim. So yeah, you can see the 3 most active category of the game tonight, and with the best runner for every category. So I hope that you will enjoy.
Thank you so much. So we're going to get started off with Any % No Restrictions here by Wamba. Do you want to go ahead and count us in for the run start?
Yeah, for sure. All right. So we can start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck. Have fun.
Good luck.
Good luck, Wamba.
Thank you. Good luck, Wamba. So Karim, can you explain to us the beginning of the run?
So,
about the movement?
So basically what's happening right now is that we're seeing a bunch of rapidly fast slides, and what we call this movement is slide cancel, which basically we're interrupting a slide by another slide, and it makes us go extremely fast.
Yes.
Gives me big Symphony of the Night vibes there.
Oh yeah, totally. Totally. We are coming up to the first mandatory fight of the game, which we call Menowrod, because we are fighting with Menolias and Orod. And just think of it as a kind of an auto-scroller, because that fight is based on cycles and also it's really slow. And so we are not gonna do it. What we're gonna do is jump here and do a technique called sword hovering, where by slashing our sword up and down, we can kind of glide a little bit, grab an invisible wall, and just run.
This is one of my favorite tricks in the whole run.
Oh yeah, and it saves so much time because that fight is And Sword of the Ring is like a movement that is allowed in restricted. So far, everything you see is allowed in restricted. But now we are gonna reach the next part, which is being able to hit a load trigger outside of the loaded room, kind of. So one of the biggest things that we to ensure like a clear distinction between the two categories is that you cannot hit a load trigger in an unintended way. So right now, like you could see that Fromba just went over the wall and hit the load trigger to skip a fight. Now we are on Yuvishka. So this is like the first mini boss of the run. Like that boss is just here like to teach you the basics. So he has two phases. Then like he did like a yellow attack, and when you parry a yellow attack, you have this wonderful animation that I hope we will not see again in the entire run.
Because as pretty as the animations are, they are quite slow, I imagine.
Oh yes, they are.
Especially if they're not skippable.
Right. Now, one of my favorite tricks. Ubisoft loves to put triggers in the air. So here, normally, like we are supposed to go outside, talk to people, see that the prince get kidnapped because we are not the prince, we are a warrior. But there is just a trigger in the air. So we hit that, and that's it.
No idea why you're
Same here, like mandatory fight. Yeah, that's really common in Ubisoft games. Like we have other Prince of Persia games with that. Like Send of Time, Warrior Within. Like they just like to do it, I don't know. Alright, time to talk about prison early, I guess.
Yeah. So what's gonna happen normally in this section is that we like keep going right. We see a bunch of cutscenes. The game introduces us to a bunch of mechanics like our map, how to like take screenshots of like parts we're gonna do later. But obviously, since this is a speedrun, we don't want to do all that. So what we do here, we do another sword hover movement, and we go this way, which is totally not intended. And we access an area called the prison, which is part of Sacred Archives, which we're gonna be accessing later into the run. Or are we actually unrestricted? We don't do that.
No, we don't in unrestricted.
In restricted, we call it
it's
like here.
unrestricted. But yeah, like here we don't. But it's really it saves like a few seconds in this category. So you know, like since this category is so short, like we don't want to lose a second. So like in Sacred Archive, there is a lot of wonder. Like you could see like a stairs going up and down. Us, we don't really care. Like here right now, the only thing we want is get to the teleporter and go to the Haven, which is like our main base basically.
One forgotten thing about like getting to this teleporter this way is that it skips like teleportation kind of text prompt where it teaches you about like teleporting and stuff. For some reason, it skips it if you access it this early.
Yeah, I mean that's so not intended, you know. Like I don't think they accounted to that like in testing. Alright, so up here, this is just the game like giving you a small trap room, and we are gonna arrive to a next boss. So this is gonna be Undead Prisoner. What will happen is that there will be a door opening up. We'll go into this door, trigger the fight, and then what will happen is that during the cutscene, the door will close. But if we are able to skip the cutscene and leave the room fast enough, we'll actually despawn the boss. So let's see if Fromba gets it. So up, he skips, he go left, he leaves the room, and no boss.
This is absolutely crazy when this happened. Like, I don't know how they made the fight, but like leaving the room and re-entering, despawning the boss is always crazy to me. The boss just disappears. It doesn't count as a kill, and you can respawn the boss if you want, but hey, why would you do that, right?
Exactly. Actually, that's a strategy like in all overworld bosses. Like we can do that. GMP works on a route like this at some point. So yeah. We got our first Atra Surge. So you can see on the bottom right, there is now 2 bars with a small icon. So Atra Surge are like special attacks in the game. And right now, like the game gives us our first. Also here we just keep a boss by doing a 2 sword over. By the way, like it's fine.
Yeah,
it's
just
fine.
side notes. Not important.
Yeah, exactly. That was the first skip found in the game, like just a few hours after we got the game. So yeah, like special attacks. So normally we were supposed to get one earlier, but since we skipped like the palace by hitting the trigger like that were flying around, we did not get our first special attack. This one will not be useful, but we will get another one later that will be useful. And I guess now we can fly.
Yeah. This is basically the main form of like verticality in this round, since we don't get any vertical movement stuff. We use the bow to fly. And how that basically works is that if you jump in the air, bow, and then berry to interrupt it right away, it for some reason gives you vertical momentum, and you can keep burying to keep going up and up. And depending on your timing, you can either go like really fast or really slow.
Yes, that's also where the game is kind of FPS dependent. So we are allowing multiple value or FPS for this run. As long as they are between 60 and 120, it's fine. So right now I think Juanpa is playing on 90, which gives you like a decent speed flight if you have like a decent timing, and also allows you like to still like play the game quite fast. And so yeah, that was also found pretty fast. So as Karim said, like basically we just stop our momentum with the parry and we just go up. And believe me that this is not the most broken technique of this one.
Oh no, far from it.
So
far from it.
yeah.
I was just looking at the speedrun.com for like the resources and the guides and everything, which there's a plethora of really cool things to get into the run here. But there's also the list of things that are restricted in the restricted category, and there is a very extensive list of things. So when you're telling me that's not the most broken thing that you'll ever see in this speedrun, I believe you.
Yeah, we work hard on that list. So here normally like we go left to fight the first real boss of the run, but we are actually gonna go back, like we use kind of the back door with the fly, and we just get the power without having to fight the boss. So also it's good to note that if Romba did this wrong, he would have soft lock, and he did not save before. Just saying.
Yeah.
So now we can dash. That's like the first like real power that we get this one. Well, for us it's the second one because we can fly, but you know, like casually it's the first real power. And we need dash because we are gonna use it to clip through some collision a bit later.
Oh yeah, because why would you pick something up if it wasn't gonna break the game even further, am I right?
Exactly. So we continue, we are like in the depth, which is kind of a sewer area with poison, as you can see right now, like Romba is losing HP. And this is where we're gonna go and get our second Astra Surge. So to refill our bar on the bottom right, we can parry attacks, we can do damage. Parrying increase that bar a lot, but we are limited to 2 bars. And there is different level of Astra. So right now we just pick up like a level 1 Astra, which is assistant, and it's gonna be amazing for the 2 boss that we will fight this game. But let's just go out of bounds, you know, like.
Timble dash gets you out of bounds, like.
Yeah.
It's just about
so when you have like two words, when you have 2 words like this and you dash like at the jointure, like at the junction between the 2 of them, like you can just go out of bounds. That's so easy. So normally we cannot access this area like this far. There is enemies that stop us from doing so. And we're actually gonna meet one of these enemies, which are like the Medusa head kind of enemy. And if it turns around, we're kind of soft lock. We have to go save and reload. But he was able to defeat it, and now we just keep like an entire chapter of the game. Like I don't know, like 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So it's really cool. Yeah.
It always makes me sad when like we skipped up much of the game. Like, I always put myself in the developer's shoes and be like, oh, but I worked on all these stuff so hard, all these bosses, the whole quest and stuff, and we just skip it so quickly. We didn't even do it.
Yeah, but that's why we have different. That's why we have different categories.
Exactly.
Yeah, to put this in perspective for the chat, the estimate for this category, as you can see on screen, is 25 minutes. We'll be finishing the Prince of Persia showcases with an any % restricted race with an estimate of a 105. So that is quite the difference in estimate.
Oh yeah, that is huge. All right, so here we just bought an amulet, but it's called like the Evil Eye amulet. And you know, like Evil Eye amulet, it doesn't sound good to us, and it's not, because it's gonna put our maximum HP to 1, meaning that we will die on every hit when we will equip it.
But
So right now, like you're like, yeah, it's bad, you know, like honestly. But what is the advantage of this amulet, Karen?
so basically, in exchange for like making us live on 1 HP, what horrible life we would go through, it gives us an insane amount of damage. It basically gives us the equivalent of 3 sword upgrades, which is, you can imagine, really huge for such a simple purchase. But it does make our life really miserable since 1 hit.
Indeed. So here, another mini boss, but like before, we skip the cutscene, leave the room, and boom, no boss. And now we're gonna get the most broken power. And this is a World Cup shame. Let's go, Wamba!
So
We knew you could do it.
what was supposed to happen here is, as Wamba was supposed to slide in a certain way and then turn around to be able to slide across the screen and skipping this slow walk right into the power. But it's really tough to do sometimes, and this is what we call the walk of shame, and wherever this happens to, we always make fun of.
Oh yes, definitely.
And
All right,
here it
and
comes.
now we just teleport. Yeah, we just teleported to the other side of the room. So this is Shadow Warp. How does it work? If you put a shadow, which is like the power we just got, basically like you put a shadow, then you teleport to it. You know, like it's like kind of, you go back in time, but not really. Like it's like you just save your position and then go there. If you put it in between a room transition, then that shadow will be on a fixed coordinate, which is often out of bounds, and allows you to just travel really fast. So you just have a few frames to put your shadow between the screen transition. So it's not that easy. Romba makes it look easy, but it is not. Believe me.
Yeah, we saw a glimpse there on
And
how it's supposed to be used, but we're never gonna see that again.
Yeah, no. If you want to see how it's supposed to work, stay tuned for the restricted race later. And one of the great things that the developer did for us is putting the last area of the game, like the last area of the game, near the beginning, you know, like to give you like kind of a little peek. But since we can just clip and go wherever we want, thanks to that shadow warp and fly, we will just use that to actually go to the last area and beat the previous to last boss. So Romba is just traveling out of bounds, and it's amazing. Again, like how does it work? Just before the screen transition, is start pressing shadow and release it as soon as the screen transition is over. Like the timing is no more than a few frames. It's not that easy. But again, like it makes it look easy. How does he know he put the shadow? Because on the bottom left, we can see that there is a small icon, like a blue icon, before the bow. And that was flawless movement. Yep, perfect.
I'm
And now we're gonna go
impressed
to the
by
race.
the movement in this game.
Oh yeah, it's so cool, it's so fluid, like it's amazing, like they did such a good job. Combat and movement in this game is everything. It's so cool. Alright, and we got stomped and we died. That was not planned, by the way. So this is like the downside of using Evil Eye. Again, like one hit and we die. And this fight is scary.
Yeah,
So
It's even scarier
oh
on
my god,
restricted.
what the?
It's still scary on restricted as well. And to put it into perspective, you're supposed to come here with pretty much every power in the game. And the fight is designed around that, you being able to double jump and do all the other power-ups to dodge attacks. But of course, in unrestricted, we don't have any of that. So you have to rely on flight. And if you mess up flight, you're dead because you're 1 HP.
Oh my god, that was amazing, Roba! That fight was wonderful! So it
was
totally
excellent.
destroyed him. Yeah, we did not even have time to talk about the strat. Oh, still using Shadow War. He also cancelling some with a sword slash, that's why like he go onto a wall, but you know, like that's not too important. Alright. Oh my god, he's on fire right now.
Yeah, he's...
I can't wait. Yeah, I can't wait for the last boss to take 5 minutes.
Oh yeah, that's gonna happen. So far, this shot is pretty good.
Oh, this one is amazing. And yeah, so what we needed to beat Darius, so like the previous two last boss, is because this is the only way to unlock the way to the last boss. We try flying around, hitting triggers and all, but the trigger only appears after you defeated Darius, at least so far. You know, like, if we can get to this area before defeating Darius, then the game will be 100% dead. Like, it will save like 5 minutes like to the run, meaning that it will be finished under 15 minutes.
And
because yeah, we did not talk about it, but Ramba's PB is like a 19 minutes, I think. But it does not have like 2 strats, unfortunately. Right now, like he's trying to do a small showcase of another glitch, but it's really precise.
And to confirm,
Ramba,
yes,
you
his
can do it.
IGT, his PB for IGT is a 1949.
Yeah.
Okay, he gave up.
He could not get it.
That one was pretty tough.
Yeah.
So
It's okay. And Salado, that was for you. He tried for you. But yeah, like this run can go under 19 minutes. Because like in his 19 minutes run, it did not have like the 2 boss despawn that we had before. So yeah, this one can go sub 19 for sure. But there is a big gatekeeper. And we are approaching that gatekeeper. It's Varam Ascended, which is like the final boss. He has 4 phases. Again, as Karim mentioned, like on Darius, we are supposed to have double jump. We are supposed to have a whip to grab those triangle that turns around that you see on screen. We are supposed to have so many Astra Surge. We are supposed to have so many stuff to do this boss. But here, we don't. And so much HP as well. So this fight can go really wrong. So you can see that there is a shadow, and then he teleports to the shadow, so that's how the shadow works. Okay, that's fine. He has to not get it, which is scary. So like he lures the sunball like on the bottom, at the bottom, and then go to his shadow. Okay, good. That's first phase down, which is like the easy part. From now on, Varam can do his super attack, and his super attack is almost undodgeable. Because like there will be a lot of lines on screen, and then everything that these lines touch, he will actually like hit.
especially with no movement abilities at all, it's already hard enough to dodge it with all movement.
Oh yeah. Alright, second phase done. On the third phase, there is a clone of him. Up, so he did as many damage as possible, then he will teleport to the shadow again and continue damaging him. And that's his super attack, but he does not have a lot of HP, so he can kill him just before he launches it. Okay. On the last part, we're gonna go full Super Saiyan. So now he will be able to dodge, thanks to that. Get ready on time, maybe, if he does not die. Ooh, that's the worst pattern. So now he will just, thanks to the super power that we get on that phase, we can actually dodge. He almost went too far high. Okay, so get ready on time. It's gonna be when you press it on the QT.
And time.
20:01.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. At the same time, I'm glad he did not get world record, because if he got world record, since he did not show his FPS counter on the top left, we would have to reject the run. So, let's see the bright side.
Oh my goodness. That was intense.
My God. Okay. So, we did not plan for Wamba to be that much underestimated. That normally that category, like, you're between 25 and 30. Wamba is really good, so we put like the estimate at 25. But oh my God.
And he was underselling himself before. Like, I'm so like rusty. I didn't warm up. I'm doing badly at this, and almost got world record. Like, Wamba is just crazy at this game.
Like, definitely practiced enough.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah. And that's why I call him Rombaninho. Like Ronaldinho, like every good football player, like he deserves like his Nino at the end. He's insane.
That was an excellent showcase, and we're going to be hearing from the rest of y'all very, very soon, because we're going to actually be gearing up to showcase the Mask of Darkness. So we just showed off what the full game looks like in a unrestricted category, but we're going to be looking at the DLC, the Mask of Darkness DLC, in the restricted category, and Eraser's actually going to be in the runner's chair for that. So we're going to take a quick break. So while we're doing that, take care of yourselves, get up, walk around, take some time to get some water, and also maybe check out gamesdonequick.com/hotfix. Check out. Hello everyone, welcome back to episode 42 of Passion Project, the best place on Twitch to show the world what you love the most in speedrunning and gaming. My name is Amber Cypher, and we are in the midst of our Prince of Persia The Lost Crown 1 year later showcase, where the community for The Lost Crown have come together to showcase what the speedrun looks like a year after we showcased it shortly after the game's release. So, I'm joined by 7 Eraser 7, Wamba, who just did an incredible run of the any percent no restrictions category, and once again joined by Kareem, as we're going to be showcasing the Mask of Darkness DLC, restricted rookie category. Go ahead and take it away.
Hello everyone, it's me, Kareem again, joined by Wamba. Are you here? Wamba. Yeah. Wamba is getting ready.
I think Wamba is totally dead after his previous run.
I'm back.
He did go crazy for that. Nearly getting world record. That was insane. He deserves the rest.
It was like just shy of 20 seconds off in-game time for that run. My goodness.
Totally deserved rest. Press slow, bro. I'll take it on. So yeah, we're gonna be showcasing the Mask of Darkness DLC, which is a later addition to the game added September of last year. And it adds a whole new area with a whole new quest and new bosses. And it's really cool. Really excited to showcase it.
It's like the pinnacle of what the game can offer in terms of platforming. So like it's an amazing DLC, I think. And it's only like €5, $5. So, like it was totally worth.
It goes on sale pretty often too, so it's less than $5 as well.
Right. Well, what do you say we get this showcase started if you want to go ahead and count us in for the timer?
All right.
Okay.
We will start in...
Okay, I'm just going to mute myself, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, go ahead and lock in.
Another world record incoming. Okay, so we gotta...
Lock in, Eraser, lock in.
We gotta start the run in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good luck, have fun.
Good luck.
And we immediately see pretty much what we saw the last unrestricted run, the same form of movement that we're using. One thing differently here, though, is that instead of starting from no bowers, the game gives us dash and shadow only. So even if you come to this category or this DLC with all bowers, the game will still lock you to just having dash and shadow.
Are there new powers to earn throughout the run, or some repeats from the full game?
When it comes to like new time powers, there's not any new unique powers that the DLC gives you. It pretty much just gives you amulets and boss fights. But the most interesting part in this category is that since it's only focused on two forms of movement, they really like hone down on the platforming challenges. While we don't get to see one of the hardest ones in this category, but it overall added one of the best platforming puzzles ever, in my opinion, of course. So yeah, we're constantly being chased by this eye, which, as you might have seen already, if we touch that eye, we get reset to the previous like checkpoints. We're constantly having to raise the eye in order to get to the end. So normally you go up in most of these spots, but if you go down, you can skip the whole part. And using sword hovers, you are able to close the gap. And coming up here is a boss familiar to us, which is Yuvishka, but a powered up version of him this time. And well, as you can see, we don't really get him to do anything. He couldn't move. Using two Astra Surges, which we don't get in unrestricted, we can immediately one-shot him. We also so we have like two sides of this DLC before getting to the third area. And what you do here is, the gimmick here basically is that there's these balls, and when you hit them, you get launched in the directions they're lit up. But at the same time, it's not really exactly, you don't really need to hit it, and it doesn't take you, it has a pretty wide area of where you can trigger it. And often you can, instead of slashing it, you can just use the bow from a little farther away and hit a bunch of them.
Yeah, they seem like a really interesting mechanic. They kind of remind me a little bit of some like the bumpers in Celeste, but instead of launching you in the opposite direction from where you hit it, it just extends the direction that it's pointing in and just sends you that way. Now, if you use it with a bow, like you had mentioned, does it launch you from where you had shot the arrow?
Yeah, it launches you from, it usually like takes you in a like directed location. It's gonna take you in the same way, but like the range of where it picks you up is larger than it shows.
Okay, that makes sense.
So as we saw there, a bunch of like saws that we needed to like use shadow to get around, but there's a spot where if you crouch from, and coming up here as well, we're gonna be seeing our first major skip of this category, which, well, so simply we usually go to the left, go up, fight a bunch of arenas, the monster gauntlets, and do platforming puzzles. But if we like use the bow with manipulating the camera in certain ways, we can snipe crystals, which are supposed to unlock the shortcut later on when you get past all these areas. And mainly the camera manipulation allows you to trigger these crystals early and basically skip the entirety of the right side. As you can see here, we are going to be doing this section, which is one of the last sections, and we're going to do this mini boss. And of course, it doesn't take more than a few seconds to completely demolish that mini boss. And this is pretty much the last area of right side. As you can see here, a bunch of launching balls, which definitely remind me of Celeste. Celeste bubbles. The only difference very much is that Celeste bubbles you can control where they go, but that's a pretty good right side.
Yeah, there was some funny stuff in it, but you know, I will not complain.
Right, Wamba, mind taking a...
Yeah. So I barely remember this DLC, honestly. But yeah, the left side is basically mostly dealing with laser cycles. And mostly, like these columns you can see where you can rotate them and they either go down to enable shortcuts or pathways to go, or they also can mess up with the lasers. So it's mostly a puzzle area compared to the right side. It also has a lot of precise platforming. Oh, and you get the classic tutorial of Shadow, which you get like 3 times at least in the game. Yeah. A funny thing that you will also see later for one of the skips is that the lasers trigger depending on the camera or something like that. I think we never figured out specifically how it works, but you can use that to your advantage to go through many of the lasers at some points if you're fast enough, usually.
Yeah, I would say it's a mix of like the cycles in this game. Some of them trigger based on like a position that you get to, and others trigger based on if it's in your view or not of the camera. And okay, that was crazy from Eraser. That was pretty good. This is one of the tightest cycles, pretty much.
Eraser is also surprised, it seems.
Yeah, Eraser is like, how did I bowl that off?
So, looking at the leaderboards for this, it looks like there's very few runs for the Mask of Darkness DLC, and in particular, no restrictions. In the comments for Eraser's PB, he basically narrows it down to the no restrictions version of this DLC is the level of hell that it is equivalent to Crash Bash 200% one player, which unfortunately I know. I know what 200% 2 players looks like due to a couple of friends of mine who run the co-op category for any percent for that game. And 200%, that's awful, even with a friend. But would you say that this is a category, the restricted category, is a little less intense while still being a short category to pick up and play for the game?
It's less intense. It's less about intense and more about like how fun it is. So it's like using glitches in this category doesn't really speed it up much, as you can tell by like the time. It's not really that much faster compared to the restricted run, and basically because like how the DLC is laid out. You have to progress most of it by just like flying, and it's not really that fun compared to running a restricted rule set.
Yeah, would you say that this is an okay, like if someone were to play the game like and the DLC and like 100% the game, be like, I want to play more of this, would you recommend Mask of Darkness as like their first category perhaps for something that's short?
It's a good option, honestly.
It's short. And it does have some hard skips, but compared to other categories and it being short, it's not that difficult. And it's a really nice run to pick up if you want, like on the shorter side of things. Well, you could also pick the unrestricted category, but it kind of is it's a lot harder. I would say Mask of Darkness and restricted, then unrestricted. Unrestricted is really hard.
The main advantage of Mask of Darkness as a first run is that at least you're not locked at 1 HP max with Evil Eye.
Yeah.
Meaning that, you know, like even if you're not that good at the game yet, because, you know, like you just started, which is normal, you can still like finish run pretty reliably. Meanwhile, like if you do any percent, restricted or unrestricted, it's not that easy to finish runs, especially like at first. It takes you like the skill gap to finish one in any person is really, really huge. Like it takes a long time to start finishing runs.
Exactly.
But for this category, you can just go and finish.
Yeah, your
it
time
doesn't
loss
take
is
that much
not-
time to learn either.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dying in Mask of Darkness is basically not happening compared to unrestricted and restricted. And of course, dying in these categories lose you in the minutes depending on where you die.
Yeah, like there is some depth, like in any percent that like 4 minutes of time loss because of how we manipulate checkpoints, basically. Like we did not see it earlier because Wamba was so good, but yeah, like
Yeah,
if at any
Wamba.
point it dies,
If
he will have went back like by a lot.
Wamba died in any of the spots, it would have indeed set him back a long time.
Auto aim.
Okay.
This
So yeah, I'm playing on controller. Oh my god, please. Auto aim one day. Thank you.
Shoutouts to mouse and keyboard.
So yeah, this game is no. So yeah, this game is still a Prince of Persia game. There is auto aiming and it's really bad.
I think I did see you switch to mouse aiming at one point earlier when you had to more precisely aim off screen.
Yeah. That's what you have to do because like you cannot aim that precisely like with your controller. And this was like really precise.
Yeah, so when it came to that skip from before, which Eraser had to use the mouse for, you are like aiming the chakram in a pretty specific spot, so it bounces on the other side of an invisible wall and hits one of these like portals that we have been hitting the entire side, and it triggers a portal that would take you behind the invisible wall, which is supposed to like force you into doing the arena before it.
Up. All right. So now, ow. Wait,
That's
actually, like
unfortunate.
I just gave myself like 5 more seconds to talk about it. So now we are gonna see a big skip. So one day.
That is-
never mind. So
That is not the skip yet.
in this game, you can use like the Wak Wak tree, which is like your save point, to actually teleport. And here we are manipulating the camera so that you can see like here a Wak Wak tree just appear on the map, despite me not going there. And I will be able to teleport there, thanks to that. So I use like the Atra Surge to manipulate the camera to make that Wak Wak tree appears. And so we can just skip like the end of the DLC by going to previous one and teleport. This is also gonna be useful in the any percent restricted run that we will see just after. So here, I can just teleport to the end of the DLC. It saves like 2 minutes or so.
Yeah, for some reason, how they made the tree is that like you just need it to be in your sight to be able to like trigger it on the map. Fun fact is that like before it didn't used to be like that. We didn't have the ability to teleport between trees, but then they added that into a game as a form of end game exploration thing. And yeah, that's one of the side effects. And here we see Rajin, which is one of the hardest fights in the game, and which is the boss of this DLC, which basically she took us into her world. And what we saw right there is actually really fascinating. So what we saw Eraser do is that he shot an arrow, an Astra arrow, which we call Arash. He shot it underground, and while you normally cannot damage Rajin during this much, but if you shoot on the ground, her hitbox is actually underground. So if you hit that, her original body, you deal tons and tons of damage, and you speed this up immensely. As you can see, like,
Yeah, no,
we're not going to be able to even see the second phase. There is supposed to be another phase above ground, and due to how much we damage her from underground, we totally skipped that.
And if everything goes well, this is gonna be time. Let's see.
And
yes, time.
that's time.
GG.
Okay. Oof. So shooting arrows underground is really precise. We have to do like a certain choreography to get enough Atra Surge, basically. because like refilling your Atra is not that easy, even in rookie. And so yeah, and it's really precise also like to shoot. That's why like you saw me like aiming for a lot of time like on the third shot. But yeah, I really wanted to get it because after getting the second one, like the second arrow is the hardest. So like you really want to, once you get it, you really want to get like the last one. So I'm really glad I was able to showcase that.
We just saw what Kareem referred to as one of the hardest bosses in the game. But Kareem's also going to be doing the hardest boss in the game coming up next. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. And it's gonna be on the Immortal difficulty. So in this game, you have 4 base difficulties: Rookie, Warrior, Hero, and Immortal. You also have like custom option, basically, to increase or lower the difficulty beyond those points. This game is really accessible, by the way, like for everyone. That's amazing. Even if you have issue with platforming, you can skip the platforming section. Wonderful job. And so yeah, Karim is gonna do Immortal, meaning that, for example, like earlier, like in practice, he took 12 life points out in one attack. Like he lost that many life points. So yeah, like after the DLC, yeah, that was crazy. So see, after the DLC, you come here, and if you got everything, Artaban talks to you. Sargon, I think you're ready for your last lesson, and that last lesson will be given to you by Karim.
Oh.
All right, so we're going to take another quick break as we get our runners swapped around and get everyone ready to go for the... Hello everyone, welcome back to Passion Project, the best place on Twitch to show the world what you love the most in speedrunning and gaming. My name is Amber Cypher and I am joined by the Prince of Persia, the Lost Crown community, as we're showing off what the speed game looks like 1 year after release. Because we did showcase the game shortly after its release, just to show like game in development, which was really, really cool to do. But now we're seeing what it looks like now. And we just done 2 really awesome runs. We've done the any percent restriction, no restrictions category, and we've just shown off the DLC, the Mask of Darkness DLC. And when you complete that DLC, you unlock the super boss, which is what Kareem, who has been on commentary so far, is about to show off now. Why don't y'all take it away from here?
Thank you, Amber. So yeah, I'm still here again, and I'm still with Karim, and this time it's gonna be an amazing fight. I cannot express how difficult this fight is, especially like on Immortal. So to do this fight, Karim will equip multiple amulets. So let's go over one by one. So the first is Veretragna, Wrath, and
sorry.
Yeah, up, no problem. So you were able to see like all of our super attack earlier. This increased the damage of our super attacks, and we are gonna need it. Then we have the next one, which is Void Blade. This sends a wave shock when we just swing our sword normally. But it's not gonna be happening every time. There is a timer, so and if we are in the middle of a combo, then that wave will not come. So sometimes we have to stop hitting, wait for the refill, and then hit him again with Void Blade. Void Blade does incredible damage. Then, if you can go on another one.
Oh yeah.
Up, Wheel of Rostam. This increases damage when you are on the ground, meaning that if at any point Karim jump and hit, it will not increase his damage. Then we have one of the best amulets in the game, which is Arsalan Glory. This also increases damage while you have full HP, meaning that if at any point Karim takes damage, this amulet will not work. And this is the key of this fight, is to keep Arslan as long as possible. Then up, we continue with Gleaming Lion. So every time Karim will be able to parry Artaban, his Atra will charge more. Since he's playing on Immortal, every parry that he gets actually does not give him a lot of Atra compared to what you saw in the previous 2 runs. But here, thanks to that, it's actually decent, and he will be able to use his super attack, so his Atra Surge.
And this one is more of a fill-in to fit in all a slot, which just reduces the incoming melee damage that I take, which to be real, it doesn't reduce that much. But maybe I will not die in one hit.
Exactly. Like thanks to that earlier, like you only took 12 out of your 13 HP in one attack. Let's see the bright side. Also, like if you can go back like to the overworld, just to the overworld. If you want to showcase, perfect. Actually,
just to make sure that this is immortal.
Yeah. So immortal.
No custom.
Yes. So in immortal, you lose Atra when you get hit. Building Atra is slow. Your parry timing is insanely tight. Enemy hit you harder. You do less damage to them. Yeah, that's what Immortal is. All right, you can see on the top left, so he has some amulets equipped here. For example, like, can you do one shot for Void Blade? So yeah, this is Void Blade, and you can see that it refills. Like, this is the second amulet. It does refill. And the first one is Arslan, so if he gets damage, you will actually lose it. You can also see that on the top left, there is a potion. Because yes, in this game, you can use potion, believe me. Even though like you will probably like see them use like one potion in the race later, but yeah. So this is also a key strat, because if he takes damage, he can drink his potion to refill his HP and try to go back to full HP to have Arslan back on. All right. Regarding the Atra, he has two of them. They are both level 1. They are up. So Shabazz, but you can see like on the top right corner, this is this attack. So it gives you like a really strong attack and with a really short animation time. And then there is Sistan, but you already seen like in the 2 previous run, which kind of is used to stun the opponent a little bit. And it's really strong because like he has a huge area of effect. And while he is stunned, we can damage him a little bit more. But we are not the only one that can use Sistan. Artaban can also use it. And you will see it probably.
Sistan is pretty much the most powerful Astra in the game, especially for the low cost that it takes. And the developers were like, okay, you've been using it to abuse pretty much every boss and make your life easy. How about we give you a boss that can use it as well? Oh, that's gonna be fun. And it doesn't do little damage. It doesn't do little damage. It doesn't do little damage at all. All right.
All right. Also, I saw that you put like the Dark Prince skin because like there is a lot of skin in the game.
Oh yeah. The cosmetics in this game are really nice.
Yes, yeah.
All right.
All right. Up. Are you ready to go?
Hopefully I don't die much.
We'll see. All right. So we can start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good luck. Have fun.
Good luck.
So, yeah, Artaban is reading a book, you know, like 50 Shades of Atra. Not related to any books, anything. Any fan of Naruto there, I don't know, but you know, like, it's kind of based on Kakashi. And then it's gonna start. So this guy is insane. If this guy actually took part in battle in the main game, the whole story will be over in 2 minutes. Because you can see his speed is totally insane. Karim already put a shadow in the middle of the arena. It's to be able to dodge an attack later. So he has 3 phases. Here we use Sistan, as we said, like to stun him a little bit. All right. When he's red, we cannot parry him. So we have to dodge him. Unfortunately, he landed where our shadow was, so we were not able to dodge his attack. And so we already lost Arslan. And so you can see how crazy his movements are.
Okay.
And Karim almost already died. So yeah, that's how crazy this fight is. So you have to not attack him when he's trying to parry, like with his sword. This attack you can parry because it's blue. Basically everything blue you can parry, everything red you die. So now that he finished his first phase because he damaged him enough, this is the parry kind of trial, which is like a transition phase. He has to parry every attack. It's random on where they come from, but we can see that they light up a little bit. And so boom. All right, phase 2 is where things got real. This is Sistan from him. And now this is Sistan from us. Up. Chain with a Shabazz. Perfect. Up. Drinking potion. So now we have Arslan back, which is great. Up. Now he can also like go into the ground and then dodge us and try to attack us like on the back. Like that just goes so fast. So here he was able to see that he was gonna do C-stand. We lost Arslan, but it's still fine. Okay, perfect. We can parry this one because it was not red and meet him with a C-stand. Great, great, great. So we are about like halfway done. Perfect. Up, we chain with Shabazz. But unfortunately, like it was also like at the range cap where his second phase is over. And now we have more of him attacking us.
Oh, wow.
And we got it. So, well, and this is what happened.
That's really disrespectful.
He spanks us. Yes, but now you can see that, yeah, he has to drink his potion because he has this kind of remove all of your HP for a while, so any attacks can kill you. So this is also based on Kakashi from Naruto, for people like who are fan of anime. I'm sure like you could have seen it. Alright, so here we have to dodge this one. Okay, that was close, but perfect. I have no idea, but you know, like that's why you are the one doing this showcase.
Don't even try.
Alright, up. Yeah, so there is also like anti-cheese prevention. So when you damage him too long, like he kind of has like his explosion around him. That is used like to push you away so that you cannot just cheese him. Some bosses have that in the game, but him like he has one that is really, really quick to take effect. Alright. Oh, trying to dodge with Shabazz, and it worked. Wonderful.
Oh my goodness.
That was so
yeah,
close.
that was like the Shabazz of desperation. Yeah, that was literally the Shabazz of desperation. Alright, so this is like really tight. Oh my god, again, anti-cheese prevention. So no, okay, he was able to dodge it. Parry this one from the back. Use his C-stand, but he was in the air. It's fine. And let's go! First time, congrats.
That definitely was closer than it looked. That practice paid off.
Oh my god, the Shabazz to dodge him was insane.
Oh my
Wow.
goodness.
Congrats, Karim. Congrats.
Yeah, that probably looked easier than it actually was. Oh my goodness.
I'm pretty good at the game. I cannot do this fight in Immortal like it just did.
Oh.
And you know, like, and I'm pretty good again. Like, you know, like I can do like the run like really fast, all the run and all, but the skill that you need to do this fight, especially like first try, is insane in Immortal.
Yeah, I definitely like.
But
coming here, I had two things to practice: the restricted run and this fight. And you can probably tell where I put most of my practice time into. Because this one is far harder.
To get that first try, I'd believe it.
I was planning to get it no hits, but that was harder than I expected.
No, you held on to your full health for about halfway through the fight. That was still impressive.
Definitely. I think we can showcase like the Shield of Mitra really quick.
Yeah.
So that, you know, like people can see another strat that we can use. We will not do the fight again. No worries to Karim, because I think he will not be able to to then be sane for the run after. So right now, like you can see that when he parries, there is a small shield.
Let me reduce the difficulty a little bit so I can showcase.
Yeah.
It easier.
Yeah, like a little bit easier. So what Shield of Mitra is that it's when you do a successful parry, you will see like a time bubble that actually slow down time. And that's how you can do this fight really quick, but it also increases the difficulty by a lot, even more. So that's what you will do like in boss rush mode, because this game has boss rush. But at the same time, if you do that, you cannot see as many attacks coming from him, and also like we thought that for the showcase, it was also better for you like to see how crazy Artaban is. So yeah, like just go and, you know, like just parry like a couple. I think that would be
Yeah, I also want to show how I could have cheese.
Who's better now?
The domain expansion, as we call it, attack.
Oh yeah, too. So yeah, like you can see how much of a slowdown this is. And so like you just go and totally destroy him. Again, like remember that we just lower difficulty so that we do a lot of damage right now. And you can see about like how quick this is compared to Immortal.
Oh, yeah. It's very different.
And so yeah, like as Karim said, like for the transition phase, you know, like where he had to parry, another thing he can just do is you go in the corner and slide cancel. And yeah, that just works. But it was cooler to parry earlier. So.
Oh yeah, definitely. I was not planning to fail it.
Yeah, true. Like on the second one you failed, but it was funny because at least like we could see like the spank animation.
Yeah, just gotta keep us on our toes.
Exactly.
All right.
Like you can see.
Oh goodness! Thank you so much for showing that off on Immortal difficulty. That was really incredible. And
yeah, huge shout out to Karim for being able to do it. Honestly.
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you.
And Karim's going to do a little bit more because coming up after this next break to get the final showcase run for the Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, but not the last run of the show set up. We're actually going to be getting Karim and Antoine to do an any % restricted race. So when we saw the unrestricted or the no restrictions category earlier, that was a 25-minute estimate. This next run is going to be an hour and 5-minute estimate. So there's a lot that you didn't get to see because of the glitches and out of bounds that we could do earlier. We can't do a lot. Hello everyone, welcome back to Passion Project, where we are showcasing the Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown's community efforts over the last year since the game's release. My name is Amber Cypher and I am joined by a whole plethora of the runners now. We've got, in our runner seats, we've got Antoine and Karim, who are going to be racing the any % restricted category. And then we've also got Racer and Wamba here on commentary. So why don't you all take it away?
Hello everyone. So yeah, it's 7 Eraser 7 again, and I'm gonna be commentating as Amber said with Wamba.
Hello.
Hi Wamba.
It's my first time watching this game.
And yeah, sure. That's a good life, Wamba. Come on, you just watch my run and Karim's Artaban showcase.
Ooh.
So we know that you watch at least like 2 runs.
Okay,
before.
you got me.
Right, and for you today, we're gonna have a race between the number 1 in the world, Antoine, and the number 2 in the world, Karim. How are you guys?
Hello everyone. A bit stressed, but this one will be fun.
Yeah, hopefully it's a close race and not just a complete domination from Antoine. So.
Yeah.
Karim is saying that, but you know, like regarding the time that both of them did before the event, Karim has an advantage. So you know, just saying. Like not PB wise, but regarding like consistency, you are getting like more 56, 57 in game time than Antoine, I think.
I mean, I'll take the humble
when you do not
approach.
reset after 5 minutes.
I'll be humble and I'll say that Antoine is better than me. I do not know. I'm certainly nervous. So.
Speaking of being nervous, Antoine, which part of the game are you the most nervous about?
Every part of the game.
I mean, it's a solid choice. It's a really difficult game and it can go wrong everywhere, especially in a long run like this.
Exactly. Alright. Just one last thing. Are you both ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
Alright. So, we can start the last run of our showcase for Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown 1 year after in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good luck, have fun,
Good luck.
and may the best win.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Alright, so we start again with slide cancelling. To repeat what it is, it's simply when you change slides so that you have the speed of the start of the slide, but not the end of the slide that is slower. So they basically like just mash the slide button with the direction to cancel the end of their slide. Now we're gonna also like showcase another tech which is called wall climbing. So when you jump on the wall, jump on the wall, then do a sport slash and parry after, you can stop your momentum and go back towards the wall, which allows you to climb vertical wall. This is a lot in restricted, which is kind of no major glitches. And why? Because you cannot do too much things about it with it, because they did take care about it like in the game design and level design. So here they both do sport over. This is done to interrupt your momentum so that you don't lose too much height. They grab an invisible wall and then they can just leave the room. And thanks to that, they skip a mandatory fight that is quite long and random. So now they have this fight, which is like nothing too big to talk about. And unlike Ronba's run earlier, we are gonna do this part where Karim is right now, which is the Varam kind of part of the tutorial. So now Varam will come and actually help us deal with these enemies. But sometimes Varam is a pain and will not help us. Right now it went well for Karim. And it went well, hopefully, for Antoine. Let's see. One more. Okay, it went well as well for it. So now they approach on Yuvishka. So for Yuvishka, there is two phases, and that's where the game shows you like that the yellow parry is used between both to go like from phase 1 to phase 2. So we do it right now. Again, like earlier, we hope that this is the only yellow parry that we see. And now Karim is doing down slash attack to actually totally destroy him. And so that Yuvishka has no time to attack basically except the one that we dodge with the down slash attack while damaging him. And that's done for Anton as well. So yeah, really good right now. And that's also where you can change skin, and that's what Karim did. There is no reason for that other than asserting dominance over Antoine apparently.
Putting pressure in the run. So yeah,
so
this is basically the second tutorial that you skip in Unrestricted, where you basically learn about how to use Sathra searches, and you get your first Sathra search, which is Bertharna's, not Wrath, or is it Wrath? It's Berthragna, that's for sure. Smite, thanks.
That's very true.
It's a really powerful Lathra because it can stun enemies in a straight line, and it's really useful for most of the boss encounters and mini-boss encounters too. Sadly, in this boss fight you won't be able to use it, but yeah, take it for me. I don't remember this fight.
Oh yeah, so you know, like for this fight, it's really hard, as you can see. You put him like on the side and then do down slash attack so that he is stuck, and you totally destroy him. Yeah, really, really easy. I saw a question in chat, like what is actually interesting. So Antoine is playing on controller and Karim is playing on keyboard and mouse. So we have both techniques that can be used at a good level in this game, which is pretty amazing. So up, now we are supposed to enter the Mondcraft, get some memory shards, which are like pictures that you can take to remember stuff on the map, etc., etc. We will not do any of those. Like the any important unrestricted run from before, we are gonna go straight to prison to actually skip the entire first part of the game, like after the tutorial. And so up, they are both climbing, perfect. So this is not that easy to do. Like the skip, like the sword over are a bit tight.
Yeah.
So that's why like sometimes you can see them failing a bit.
Yeah, thankfully it's easier than in older versions. I don't know what they changed about sword hovers, but it made them way easier to execute and not lose height in the process, because before they used to depend on how high your FPS were. At low FPS you will keep losing height a lot, which actually in the beginning will in the intro of the run it will be important.
No, definitely. So game got better with updates.
Yeah, thankfully. It's weird because they fixed a lot of stuff, and by the way, both runners got one amulet that you will see later on, which is the Dragon King amulet, which grants you an extra life or something like that, I guess. weird.
Yeah, so every time you die, you actually, like the first time you die, you don't really die, you respawn with a little bit of HP. But you have to equip it and all, but yeah, we're gonna go into it later. Probably.
Yeah, it will be useful both for, since the entire run will be done at 1 HP, like at least the second half of the run, similar to Unrestricted. So that amulet, besides giving you extra safety throughout the run, it will also be used as for damage boosts along certain sections.
Yeah, and it's gonna be really useful. So you could see that unlike Ronba earlier, we did a little bit more in the Secret Archive. It's because we wanted to open a door, because in this run we are actually gonna go back to Secret Archive. But now, like we just proceed as usual, avoiding some traps, trying to make some cycles up. Wonderful from both players. I promise that there are 2 people running and not just one. That's why actually Karim switched skins, I guess, because they are literally in sync. So yeah, Antoine has a little bit more of lost time compared to Karim, but it's okay because you can see like in the top right corner, we have the in-game time. Right, this room is a puzzle area normally, but we totally bypass it. And like earlier, we just skip that boss by skipping the cutscene, leaving the room and re-entering, which despawns the boss. And yeah, that's pretty crazy. And you will see it one more time in this run, but unfortunately we cannot do it in other bosses. Can you talk about Batman?
Yeah, so...
Because we are just getting it.
Sadly, this Athra is... sadly... way to say it. It's one of the Athras that, for purposes before one particular skip that was found not recently, recently I guess, it was a really annoying Athra to get because you can't heal because you're at 1 HP usually, and you can't skip the cutscene because the trigger is kind of unavoidable. So it was like a 20 seconds time loss at least. We were really annoying, but it was found recently, as you saw in the DLC run, that with the Wak Wak teleport that will be unlocking way later on in the run, like right at the end, pretty much. You can use that Athra to manipulate your camera and gain access to the Wak Wak trees way earlier than supposed. So yeah, here is one of the branching points compared to the Unrestricted run, because you can't fly, of course, because it's one of the most broken glitches, not the most broken. So you will be seeing a lot of intense platforming in this forest area.
Yeah, and that's one of the biggest difference between our 2 runners is that they often get... Antoine is really getting like more good time than Karim in forest usually. So like that's really interesting because like that's the most platforming intensive section. But then Karim makes up this time later, so that's why like they are really close on the leaderboard. And as soon as I said that, Antoine fell, of course. Classic. Commentator luck.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Please keep doing that a little bit. Give me an advantage.
Okay, so we can see that Karim...
Oh no, not on me.
He's doing so. Alright, but one of the biggest change, you can see that Antoine is picking up a chest to get money, but Karim didn't. It's because there is 2 differences in their route, and one of them is that Antoine is gonna improve his sword to do more damage, but Karim will not. So in this game we have a lot of routes, a lot of options, and as you can see, even like the top 2 runners have different options. That's pretty cool. Karim is currently like getting the amulet holder, which gives you like 1 more slot, because the Dragon Click amulet that we got earlier takes 3 slots. But we only had 3 slots, and we want to be able to equip Evil Eye later, so we need 4 slots. So here the camera is stuck on the merchant, which is like the shopkeeper kind of. But unlike Castlevania, we cannot totally like break the shopkeeper. But you can see that Antoine is gonna buy Exercice, which is like an altcoin, unlike Karim. And right now, like Karim is destroying time bubbles. So normally, like we are supposed to come from the bottom left area, but since we use the teleport to prison, we are coming from the right. So we have to break those time bubbles in the correct order and be really careful, because if we do something wrong, there is a way for us to soft lock.
Yeah, there's basically an invisible wall that usually gets cleared after shooting the second bubble. So if you touch it way earlier and you touch the wall trigger for the cutscene, you will get stuck. So yeah, we reached the first big boss of the run, which is Shahander, like the main boss of the run. And I don't remember this.
Okay, so he has 3 phases. From the second phases, he starts using like making a ball appears that shoot thunder at us. Like the first phase is the easiest one, but from the second one there is randomness involved because he can do some attacks. So what you want to do is use very Tragna to stun him before he jumps away. So Karim just failed here, but he got it on the second phase. Let's see if Antoine can get it after. So like Antoine got the wrong pattern, but it's fine. It's gonna go on first 3. Karim already finished this fight. So like normally, like let's see, can he stun him? Yes, he can stun him. See, and thanks to that, he stays in the corner, and then he can totally get him. So in this game, we get time power by getting feather, and so when you walk towards feather, you walk really slowly, and so sometimes I will use kick, sometimes I will use a slide, sometimes I will use an Astra surge. Everything to go really fast instead of walking slowly like Ramba did early.
Oh.
Yes, Ramba, I did not forget.
No. I tried my best.
Alright, so normally now we are supposed to go to the left area of the map, meet with Baram, which is our boss. He gives us an amulet and stuff like that, but we totally don't care. Karim buy Exercice thanks to the money he got from Jandar, and then we just teleport back to the secret archive. So that's the biggest time save of getting to secret archive earlier is that we can just teleport back there, because that's where we are supposed to go now. In secret archive, there is mysterious trick. For example, here, if we look on the left, that thing moves on the left. If we look on the right, it moves on the right. If we hit the bell, those platform appears, but only like for a certain amount of time. And you will be able to see Karim takes damage on this ghost. So we cannot win our next boss fight. Like there is no way for us to win it. So we want to die fast, and to die fast, we need to be at 1 HP before the fight, because thanks to that, we are gonna be able to skip a cutscene. But just remember that right now, like Karim is gliding a little bit by turning around, and you could see that thanks to that, he reached this elevator. This is a big skip that saves like over 1:30. He can only do that movement up to the point where he shoots 2 arrows, because otherwise he could just glide indefinitely, and we don't want that in restricted.
Yeah.
So we limited that use to 2 arrows. Why 2 arrows? Because it's a distance we can already do with other movement techniques. So we just decided, okay, since we can already cross that distance anyway, we will just allow it. So because this strat is easier, we just allow it for the same distance, but not more.
Yeah, we grab now one of the teleports to the temple. So yeah, sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we grab one teleport that we'll be using later to gain access to the top area of the map, which we need double jump to go to, but we can use it later. And yeah, we can see. Oh, nice. You can see that Karim did the fight that he was supposed to lose, and Antoine is entering that fight. So basically, you want to be on low HP, as Razer explained, and you want to get hit. There's like a, what is it, 20 seconds cutscene after getting defeated by Baran, but you can interrupt that cutscene by getting hit by an arrow after you start the cutscene. So both runners got it, amazing, and we get to the worst area of the game. No, there's no, there's no way around it.
Yeah,
Wanna
definitely.
pop in
Like,
real quick, if I can, I just want to say
Of course.
hello to the new person in chat who has just found Hotfix. If you are new to GDQ's channel, we have tons of awesome content like this. We also have an official GDQ Discord where you can add the Hotfix role to yourself, and that's where you keep tabs on upcoming events like Summer Games Done Quick. You can talk with staff and do more with community, and use ! Discord and Twitch chat for more info on that. And also, speaking of Summer Games Done Quick, we're going to be live with SGDQ 2025 in Minneapolis from July 6th through the 13th. If you want to attend the event in Minneapolis, you can register to attend the event by May 26th and use XGDQ, the SGDQ command in Twitch chat, or visit gamesdonequick.com's homepage for more information on that.
definitely. Up. So now we are reaching like the end of the first part of the death. So Karim was able to bypass this puzzle by doing a crazy movement. And Antoine, him, is just gonna wait here. So that's the difference between controller and keyboard and mouse. On keyboard and mouse, like you can do like the turn around, like with your bow, like to glide a little bit easier. Antoine unfortunately got hit by poison. It's okay, we just have to restart this room. And Karim is going up to the second boss that we can skip. So again, a door will open and it closes during the cutscene, but by skipping the cutscene and leaving really fast, we can just despawn the boss. And now there is another shadow, another power, which is shadow, and he got the glass, like the choo-choo.
I'm so happy.
Yeah, congrats.
I was gonna cheap out and like use the Astra for safety, but I was like, nah.
No. So yeah, that choo-choo is actually like a bit tight, especially like since Karim is playing on 120. You have really like not a lot of place to do it. So up, let's see. Okay, Antoine was able to skip the boss.
Nice.
Perfect. And he got the choo-choo as well.
Amazing.
Congratulations. So far, only one walk of shame, which was Ronba earlier. I will not forget Ronba. So yeah, like the walk of shame, like it's just a joke between us because every time, like especially like in the event, one of us miss it, we remind each other a lot about it. Last time it was me, you know, this time it was Ronba, so like, yeah.
That one is a classic, I miss.
Alright, so now we have the shadow power. Oh yeah. We have the shadow power. So again, like I think the game does a pretty good job at explaining it by forcing you to use it. And normally, like on Karim's stream right now, you're supposed to go down to go to the catacombs, but we're not gonna go down. What we're gonna do is we're actually gonna go up, back, and buy the Evil Eye amulet. So for people like who weren't there like earlier, Evil Eye is an amulet that puts our HP to 1, our maximum HP to 1, but it gives us a lot of power. Unfortunately, Karim died, but it's okay. It's like a minute of time loss. It's not a big deal. So every sword we have 2 swords. Oh no, he has to do the boss fight. Wait, I totally forgot.
Oh, he can do a skip again, I believe.
Huh. Yeah. So off, he goes there. Let's see. Can he skip again? Okay,
Yeah,
got
one
it.
of the biggest issues with depths is that most of the hitboxes are quite bigger than they look for at some points, and I guess it's a thing of the 3D also. But also the sewers, the poison falls, I guess, do deal damage before they even spawn. So sometimes you get hit by stuff that isn't being rendered, so it can go really wrong. And we can see Antoine Bois in the Evil Eye amulet. I'm not sure if it's been equipped right now. It's before clairvoyance, right? In a few minutes from now.
It's on Secret Archive before the mandatory fight. Yeah, so we have 2 swords, Kaz and Layla. Yeah, they have a name. And they each do 5 damage, basically. But with Evil Eye, they both do like 15. So from 10 damage overall, you do 30, basically. So like that's why Evil Eye is so strong and why we want to use it. But we're also gonna use it with the Dragon King amulet, as Ronba explained earlier. So thanks to that, we are not gonna die in 1 hit, but we're gonna die in kind of 2 hits. there is stuff that hit you twice in a row that will still kill you, but yeah.
There's also setups that will waste the first charge of the Dragon King, so it's not really always to lives, I guess. And we can see that Antoine went back to the room we were before, but instead went to the left this time because we have the shadow power up to go through the blocks that move left and right. And here will be keep equipping Evil Eye before a mandatory fight. That it makes it way faster. It's risky, but you do have a Dragon King ability, so it shouldn't be that bad. But this area is pretty much, what's the word? Not awful, but it has a bad fame of reading runs.
Oh, I mean, that's a huge reset point, honestly. Like the room that Antoine is gonna come up to. So Antoine is also picking up like this item because he's gonna improve his sword, where Karim will not. So that's just like a small difference between the two.
The main thing about this area is that enemies are invulnerable, so unless you hit one specific enemy, and we won't be seeing that enemy. And there's one particular spot that can go really wrong in that case, because there's an enemy that floats and follows you and throws homing projectiles, and this one little flying dude over here. And Antoine skip it perfectly.
Okay. Yes. So there is two patterns possible, and Antoine got the good one, but he also played it like pretty well. So amazing. Like that's really like a huge reset point. Like it doesn't seem like much because he got it perfectly, but oh my god, this enemy is awful.
Yes.
Karim is gonna go there soon. And in the meantime, Antoine is starting the Temple of Knowledge puzzle. So you have 4 puzzles to do. As you can see, like on the first phase, Antoine is doing something. Then on the second phase, a shadow will do the same thing. And so thanks to that, you can activate both levers. And on the first phase, all doors will open. So that's the gimmick of this area. Okay, Karim. Okay, Karim.
Nice.
Oh my god.
Okay,
perfect. Yeah, that was really close.
So
that's the gimmick of this area. And also, you keep your shadow between phases. So like after phase 1, you can put a shadow and then you will actually keep it. But for us, like on the second puzzle, we just don't care because we're just gonna be fast enough to press the button and open the door without using a shadow.
Yeah, one of the reasons this area is for now mandatory because there's a power-up that we get after these 4 puzzle rooms that sadly we can skip. If anyone finds a way to skip it, we'll be really glad. And you will see why in a few minutes from now. Which basically spawns, like you see the blue blocks in the map, you can pretty much turn them on and off and use them as platform. And if we could skip this area, we would, but sadly we have to do it. Yeah,
it's gonna be useful once.
Yeah, it's only used one time in the run. That's pretty much why we want to get rid of it as soon as possible.
Yeah. So technically, like we are supposed to do all this puzzle like in 3 cycles, but for the second one we did it in 2. For the third one, Antoine did it in 2. But for the last one, Antoine will not do it in 2, hopefully. He's gonna do it in 1, thanks to that dash, which allows him like to grab the other side of the wall. And that was flawless. Nice. So we can see like on Karim's screen right now that for this one, what we do is actually like we press the button early, we put the shadow, and see like that button makes the platform appears. So when in the second cycle, like we will have our doppelganger like redoing our action, the platform will be here and we can teleport to our shadow. Antoine just got like the clairvoyance power, which again like we just do that just to use it really once, but it's okay. So yeah, like a small story point. So basically, like we are Sargon, one of the immortals, like which are like the strongest warrior in Persia. And the prince got kidnapped. We tried to save him. He got kidnapped by our mentor, Anahita. He got put like in the old royal city, which is Mooncalf, where we are right now, which have like a lot of time shenanigans, and we are pursuing the prince, but the prince died because our boss actually Varan actually killed the prince, and now we are trying to go back in time, kind of, to create a time bubble to save him. So that's what we are trying to do, and so for that we need 2 powers. So right now, like, Antoine is going back to the heaven, improving the sword.
Are these always here?
Like, I did not see him like switch to the screen, so I got scared, but okay, that was just my Discord feed, so we good. And like earlier, we are using, we are going like to the last area of the game faster by using like this shortcut. So here, Antoine did the trick, so that I did like in Mask of Darkness. To remind you what it is, you go at a certain point, you use an Atra Surge. Here you use a Bahamam, which is like the Atra Surge what we got, that is mandatory like in Forest. And thanks to that, the camera kind of pan out like on top of the screen, and a tree will appear on screen. And so that tree will be useful in 20 minutes to teleport there and skip half of the last area of the game. But as you can see, Karim is not doing that because Karim is going another way. So we have multiple ways to go to the to where the Clairvoyance power is used, which is like the Sunken Harbor and the Sand Pit, and they both have different routes for that. These 2 routes are based on what you prefer because they are equals. I know it sounds crazy, but yes, we did find 2 routes that are equals. Up to 2 seconds basically, but it's also dependent on runner movement and what they prefer. And so what Antoine is doing right now, Karim will have to do it later, but not at the exact same position. Alright, so Antoine got hit, which is really bad because it's really scary, because you don't want to die, otherwise you respawn at the previous checkpoint. He did take a Wak tree, but which is like a save point, which actually like updates your checkpoint, but still like it still like would be like a big time loss.
Yeah, and these 3 next rooms are really risky to go through with 1 HP. And depending on how the enemies decide to move, at some points it can ruin your run entirely. And this Sunken Harbor in particular has a lot of traps that if you're slightly distracted, they will get you. And yeah. We can see that...
so right. Yeah.
Okay.
No, go ahead.
We can see that both runners will converge after the Wak tree that will be used later for teleport. Not the Wak tree, but the PP, I guess. And both will be entering Pit of Eternal Sands. As you can see, they will be using the Clairvoyance power-up to enable the right seal. There's 3 seals that we have to break to enter the Pit of Eternal Sands. And yeah, this is the only case that we use Clairvoyance for. And then there's the seal on the left that we can get by doing a cheeky hitbox manipulation by using the dash. So basically the dash makes the character a little bit smaller, so you can use that to clip slightly through the ceilings and then wall shot through the other side of the wall. And yeah, that lets us skip for now a power-up that we still have to get later on, but we don't have to do a backtrack right now, thankfully.
Exactly, and since we are gonna get it later, we will have more abilities, and thanks to having more abilities, we will be able to skip a boss fight.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, like it saves like 1:30, kind of. 1:15, 1:30. Alright, Pit of Eternal Sands. So one of the gimmicks here, as you were able to see already, is the huge sand column, where you can just kind of move into it. I mean, like, there is no wonder, like, the studio that made this game is also the same that made, like, Rayman Origins and Legends. So, of course, like, we will find some stuff like that. And that's really crazy. So there is on the left side, we have also like to break two seals. On the left side, there is like these centipedes kind of enemies that force you like to wait. So we just want to go fast and make all the first cycle as possible. They also took the Wakwak tree that Antoine is taking right now. Karim already did it. It's to set up like your respawn point at this Wakwak tree, because we are gonna die after opening a seal to respawn there. Because one of the good things in this game is that it was made in 2024, and so we weren't back in the 90s where we just wanted to finish players. Meaning that when you die, you actually keep your progression. You respawn at the last checkpoint, but at least you keep your progression. And that's really cool. Also, yes, no worries, Karim did not get hit by that, because hitbox. So Karim is breaking that sand, and now he is dying. So one hit to get rid of the Dragon King amulet, and one hit to die.
And there's a little skip that Antoine got lucky to get. There's one cycle that you can get to get through some rocks that are on the way, that for some reason it sometimes decide to be fully broken and sometimes not. In the case of Karim, he had to go all the way around because half of it was broken. But it's like 2 seconds times. That's okay.
Yeah. So basically what you're saying is that Karim had skill issues, right?
I didn't want to say it like that, but okay. Yeah, the right side has this interesting crusher section. As long as you don't dash into the crushers, you should be fine. And you can do some funny fast movement through this place. The crushers are way more lenient than they look, but the spikes are not, sadly. So they can sometimes get you.
I will keep that information. The Crusher are way more lenient than they look. Every time now I'm gonna die there, I'm gonna think of it, and I'm gonna be curse you, Ramba.
Hey, it never failed me. Ignoring the run attempts, but yeah, it never failed me.
Alright, time for Hajda, which is the snake that we wanted to meet. That's what we came here, which is like a deity. She can actually help us like create the time bubble for the story. And Karim is already on the last phase. So normally, like, we are supposed to grab this bomb with the dimensional claw, which is the power we skip. So we just tank it with the Dragon King amulet and boom. Yeah, it goes like really fast. The only peculiar thing is here, for her yellow attack, we go on the left to dodge it instead of parrying, because parrying is really slow. And yeah, that's Ashda. Okay, good damage from Anton.
Yeah.
Okay, I got scared for a bit, because you really want to do as much damage as possible, but yeah, he has +1, so it helps. And so now our goal is to wake up the 4 Celestial Guardians, which is Karim is doing one of them right now, which will help us create a time bubble. Again, like you see that Karim is way ahead, but we actually don't know due to the rod difference right now. So it will help us like keep you on your toes.
I was gonna say, it doesn't actually, like, it's a lot closer appearing to me right now, but I am aware of the route difference, and I was like, I just think it's really cool, even with the route difference, just how close this race still looks.
Yeah,
Definitely.
The movement has been incredible from both runners, and honestly, if you haven't given this game a shot, give it a shot. There is a community Discord if you go to the speedrun.com page for the Lost Crown, and definitely check out this community, because y'all have been killing it tonight.
Thank you. Yeah, I promise we don't bite on the Discord. So like, just come and join, even if you're just interested like in following the game, following our discoveries. Don't hesitate. We also have like an annual event at the end of every year that is called Speedruns. This year it's gonna be like the 10 years in a row that we have it. It's sometimes half on site, half online, but most of the time it's online. And yeah, like it's like a full weekend of just Prince of Persia runs.
Yeah, you do a lot of Prince of Persia yourself. I was looking at your speedrun.com page, and then there was the Winx Club run, and I was like, wait, what? There's a lot of runs. I was like, okay, yeah, this makes sense. All kind of similar, Crash Purple for some reason, and then all of a sudden Winx Club, and I was like, wow. The things people run
you-
that you wouldn't have expected them to run.
Yeah, you just sum it up like my whole career by speedrunning career by saying, "Wow, Wings Club."
I mean, look, I actually loved
love it.
Winx Club back in the day.
Oh, same.
But I haven't
Oh,
played
same.
I haven't played any of the games, but I loved the series way back in the day.
Yeah, so the game is really bad, but the speedrun is really cool. Totally broken. But I also love Wings Club, so yeah.
It
So, you
is
know,
not
I'm a little
often I
bit
see
biased.
another Winx Club fan, but the Prince of Persia series they've done like a trilogy run, like the Sands trilogy as well, and it's just there seems to be a lot of community support for the series, and I think that's really awesome.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And you know, like we have so many games, but there is always something happening. For example, like lately for the remake that was released like in 2008, we actually got the first sub 2 run that happened, where 5 years ago it was already crazy that we got sub 4. So you know, like there was like such a huge improvement in this speedrun, and you know, like it just came from someone making one of his friends play, and they found a skip,
Oh yeah,
and so that's really amazing. And yeah,
it's
we are
really
gonna-
incredible how skips
yeah.
can be found over the years, and if this is the evolution that this speedrun has taken over the last year, I'd love to see what it looks like even 2-3 years from now.
oh yeah, that's gonna be amazing. Honestly, like, we already like when we showcased the game last year at GDQ, we were like 1 hour 35 kind of, and so we saved like 40 minutes in run.
Yeah.
Up. And we're already on Menolias. So yeah, Menolias is probably the worst boss in this category. Because one, it's one of the only one without RNG, like without randomness in its pattern, but it's also the worst one because it's really tight.
Yeah, it doesn't.
And there is this transition phase that is awful.
Yeah, and it doesn't help that we waste the Dragon King Amulet slightly before to do a small skip. Like, there's a narrow shower between the first and the second phase that can sometimes hit you even if you're avoiding it. So it can go wrong even if you're on a good pace.
Yeah, definitely. But Karim got it perfectly.
Amazing.
Nice. Antoine struggled on first phase, but it's fine. Okay, nice white screen at game.
That's right.
So like here, like you can see that Antoine is spamming slide cancelling like on the side to try to dodge the arrows. Sometimes you still get hit because you know, like you cannot spam fast enough, I guess, or whatever. I don't know. But sometimes you still get hit and you just have to deal with it. So yeah, this fight is totally scripted, but once again, as soon as you miss one little thing, fights get out of hand and you struggle a lot. But it seems good for Antoine. Karim just got the next Celestial Guardian, and now the power that we got is we're able to teleport where our chakram goes. So, and that's what we will use with the double jump and Sword of the Ring to skip the boss that we avoided up to now to get the Dimensional Claw power. But Karim has to go through the forge because he did not get there before. So he has to go there, and he's gonna do the same manip as Antoine did. So he's gonna go on the left, on the precise spot, use Bama, the camera looks up. Thanks to that, there is a Wak tree that appears on the map, and now he knows he can teleport there later. And to skip, like this is just a shortcut to go to the forest basically, as you can see, thanks to going to the down right area. Yep. So now that's where like we are soon gonna be able to see where they both are. So Antoine teleports to the forest to the teleporter he opened earlier. Up, and they have to do all of this without dying.
Yeah.
Like they don't have their Dragon King right now. Meaning that if anything wrong happens, it's a huge time loss because they took the Wak tree at the top of the temple before going to Menolias, and they want to respawn there. So there is literally like no checkpoint that we have gotten since. So it will be like over 2 minutes time loss. here there is a mandatory fight that we can skip by teleporting with our chakram, which is just what Antoine did. And the reason for that is that we are not supposed to have chakram teleport when going there. We are supposed to go there to get dimensional flow first, so they did not put a protection for this fight. This is the only fight we can skip this way. And now on to Kayana skip. If you want to explain it, Ramba?
Yeah, so let me think. So yeah, this
Sorry.
we can actually skip it without double right or not? We are fine that Chakram TP is definitely
We need double jump,
needed, but yeah, we can skip the Kiana fight, which is a really cool fight, sadly, but yeah, it's one of the defining points of previous routes. But I think, are there any more route changes from now on? No, right? I think we
No.
okay, we can see who's on the lead right now.
Yeah. So yeah, basically like as soon as you hit the ground on Kiana's fight, this is where it starts. So that's what we avoided. So Antoine respawned at like 39:25 approximately. So yeah, there is like a 25 seconds difference between the two. Like Karim is 25 seconds behind Antoine, which is nothing.
Yeah, that's a really close.
Because yeah,
That's crazy.
I mean, to be fair, I did die on this one. I'm not sure if Antoine died or not. That would have been much closer if I didn't.
no, that was
So yeah, this is the area why we need a dimensional clock, pretty much. And it's to access like this area doesn't have a boss fight compared to the area before Menelaus and the next area that we're going after this. But this area has a really awful puzzle, a really awful timed puzzle, the clockwork, which has really interesting setups. I wonder which setup will each runner be using. This puzzle, the way it works is that you want 3 clocks, I guess, to align, and each one is on a different time, a different cycle. And yeah, they can take each cycle lost is like 15 seconds. I can see that Antoine is doing the safer version and Karim is going for the difficult version. The safe version basically leaves one of the clocks in a stop in the spot that it should be. So you have to only align 2 of the remaining clocks, but Karim is trying to do it as quick as he can. So it is just a really tough looking skip.
yeah. No, definitely. Like it's really tough because you have to manage. Okay, perfect for Antoine. You have to manage so many clocks at the same time. And
if you're lucky, all 3 align at the same time. Amazing.
Oh yes, let's
by
go.
Both runners. Amazing skill. And we shoot our next arrow.
And a heater.
Yeah, exactly, because for every arrows you have to beat a boss except there. So that puzzle is your boss. That's how tough it is. Alright, now we are gonna go to our favorite area of the game. A game with an area with a fitting name, Raging Sea.
Yeah, Raging Sea is literally Rage Quit
And
Sea,
yes.
as we call it sometimes. The main issue about this section is that remember Dragon King Amulet? Everything hits you twice for some reason, and literally everything.
Yeah.
And it has one of the most annoying platformings in the run. The fights are not.
And so many hitboxes.
Yeah. It has enemies that follow you throughout the entire room. It has the jellyfish that explode, and they explode and they shoot projectiles, so it's even more annoying to avoid them. And at 2 HP, it's not.
Oh yeah. It's not enough. But at the same time, 2 HP is not enough, but we have the 2 best players in this category, so maybe it will be enough.
Yeah, hopefully.
So Antoine is coming there.
This area is one
Karim
of
is
the
like one room behind.
best looking areas in the game. Like the concept is amazing.
Oh yeah. Yeah, exactly. So everything is frozen in time. So right now. So you can see that the boat was getting broken and all. So we can walk on water because everything is frozen. But just so cool. And later we will hit a time bubble that will actually like wake up the sea, and so then we will not be able to walk on the sea anymore. And there will be like enemies that were like on the background that will actually like wake up and all. That's just so cool. But first there is a mandatory fight. So these enemies are simple, but at the same time, if you miss one sport slash, it can go really wrong.
Yeah.
Because as Ronba said, you can easily take 2 hits in a row here.
And funnily enough, you can get immortality in this fight, so that's another thing to worry about.
Oh yeah, true. Which is of course banned in restricted.
And one thing we didn't mention,
We call it
I
zombie.
think, is that the runners are doing a pretty funky jump when they warp with the chakram. Oh, and another funny thing, we can use jellyfish with the dimensional claw to skip the animation of this cutscene for some reason. What? Wait, what? Okay.
Yeah, so like that's what Karim is doing right now. So he aims from there, then he leaves the room, so that it breaks the time bubble. But Antoine does not do that. Antoine just hit it like from close,
yeah.
and so he still has the
He was
animation.
too close, right? I guess that's why he got the cutscene.
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, the funny thing with the chakram jump, you can get boosted upwards if you jump before doing the chakram teleport, and actually you can do that with. I think it's not done in this run anymore. With another method with a skill with will unlocking on the next boss fight, not this one, the next one. Chakram flings.
Oh, it's actually gonna be done.
Oh, okay.
No
nice,
worries.
nice. One of my favorites.
Alright. And so we begin on Allroad. So Allroad has a randomness on his second phase, which Antoine just got hit with, and Antoine dies. Yeah, that's normal. He got a bad pattern. If you get a bad pattern, sometimes it's even quicker to die, but yeah. Okay, Karim got a bad pattern as well, but he was able to dodge. So what you want is this attack that Karim just got. Okay, he got it second try, so that's perfect. And Antoine got it first try after, so okay, great. And so now they can just trigger the first phase and finish the fight by stunning him with their track 9 and just hitting him.
Ooh.
Perfect. Okay, so second try for Antoine, first try for Karim, but that's good. This fight is tough, and the randomness in it does
Yeah,
not
it's the
help.
scariest fight.
It's the
of
second
the game,
phase. Like,
honestly.
yeah. So now they have to hit this, and they will actually die to respawn at the previous Warcraft 3. It's faster, but they have to wait for a cutscene to actually appear. Not really a cutscene, but like a map that tells you like the next objective. So that's why like you see Antoine waiting. Okay. Because if you die before this map appears, you stop lock.
Or you get invulnerability. I don't know which one is worse.
Yeah. I mean, if only like you always got immortality, that would be nice, but no. Alright, Antoine went the wrong way, so he has to teleport again.
I did see some hesitation on the map screen when he was teleporting the first time, and was like, "Is it this one? No, it's this one." You were wrong. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Since he's gonna take like the same teleporter later, sometimes you get confused.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So now there is a time bubble that appears, and the fight that we lost earlier, we can actually not lose this time. So in that time bubble, the prince is alive. There is a doppelganger of us, like you know, like from the past. But all the other person are here. Our mentor is dead, and our boss is trying to kill us.
Funnily enough, the worst.
This fight is really hard.
The worst part of this fight is your doppelganger, which will always make Baram shoot you for no reason at the worst time.
Oh yeah.
This fight is pretty much scripted too, though, so it's nice.
It is when things go correctly, but as you can see for Karim, that did not go correctly because
Nicely done,
Our
though.
scripts are so tight that you miss, that you're like half a second too late, or you're like a few pixels too much on the right, and that's it.
Oh no, both runners died.
Oh no! Anyway, thanks to that, they are near the teleporter. And now that we beat him, we unlock the last power, but also we can buy the Soma tree petals that are Soma tree roots, sorry, that is like the item needed to travel from one warpack tree to another. And so you remember 20 minutes ago when in Tower of Silence we manipulated the camera? That was all for this moment, and we skipped half of the Tower of Silence. So this skip was Karim's dream for a long time. He found a lot of versions. We banned a lot of versions, but he still found a version that we had to allow at some point.
And it's sad because Tower of Silence is one of the coolest areas in the run. And we unlocked the whip now.
Yeah, it is.
The whip. The grappling hook.
Yes.
Sorry, there we go.
I like the word whip. I prefer it. Like I call it like that, like on my first page.
It fits, I guess. Fits in this.
So yeah, like you can grab enemies, you can go to them or bring them to you if they are small and light. You can grab both triangles, and this is gonna be really useful. Here, Antoine just took an enemy in his dimensional claw. It's basically like his Pokemon now, because he's gonna use it to die later. Because like he saved at the Wak tree and he wants to go back there after ringing a bell, because in this part of the Tower of Silence you have to ring 3 bells. But every bell is guarded by a mandatory fight. We will be able to skip one of the fight hopefully, but for the rest we have to do the fight, so that's what our runners are doing. And you can see that the whip is really useful because he was able to just bring that enemy to him. Here it takes damage on purpose because he wants to die thanks to his Pokemon. I don't know how to call it like in another way, so you know, like, it just releases it and takes damage on purpose and dies. But now Romba, if everything goes correctly, for Antoine, this is your moment. This is your technique.
Nice.
He's too fast.
So basically, you can carry the momentum of the whip on the warp of the shell, so you can get boosted all the way up. Both runners need to skip that bell. You can skip it without doing that, but it's just a few jumps. That version is more funnier. Yeah, both runners are racing for the third bell right now. Here, same as before, we grab an enemy that we will be using to dead warp later. Oh, that's not bad, but it can be annoying.
If Antoine dies, this is really bad for him.
Yeah, it's a really tight race right now.
Because it will look like
this is a really tight race.
Exactly. Like, but no pressure, no pressure. We want drama too. Alright. Like, remember that we are ranking them by in-game time, so even though like they are both at the same on the same screen, Antoine is still like a bit ahead. And now on to Darius. So Darius can do his super attack as soon as he lost a certain amount of HP. So our goal on the second phase will be to actually damage him enough so that we switch straight away to third phase. But this is incredibly tight. This is gonna be easier for Antoine because he has sword +1, but Karim does not. So let's see how it goes. Third phase is really easy. You just parry this because you need to parry this to build your Astra for later. Then you go here, and I think that I don't know for Antoine. Let's see if it's gonna be good. You want to use Veretragna to try to damage boost through this. Well, not really damage boost, but avoid taking damage through the fire wheel. Antoine got hit, which is gonna make him lose time. Karim did not. Thanks to that, he will be able to damage boost through the last attack here and actually like finish the fight. But Antoine has to wait for one full cycle, and he died.
That's right.
Karim finished it properly, but Antoine died. Ooh, that changed everything. That changes everything. So, because that fight is a bit long.
Yeah, that
And
was
so-
a brutal death to take.
Yeah.
Yes, he was like one hit away. Oh my god, like it was really at the end. And so now Karim can access like the area for the final boss. So he can use Warp to travel because it's faster, and to switch the last to skip like the last corridors, which is only like 2 small mandatory fights, so we don't really care about it. He's gonna use like the Walk Factory skip again. So you will be able to see. He will go on a certain position. He will use his Atra Surge, and you will see that the camera will go up. Here. Exactly, like Karim even like pointed out like with his mouse. And so thanks to that, this Walk Factory appears on screen and he can just teleport. Honestly, he skipped like 2 boring mandatory fights, so you did not lose anything.
Yeah.
Believe me.
And now the deciding part of the run. The last fight.
Varamas indeed. Oh yeah. So it's easier than what the Ramba did earlier in Unrestricted. But still, this fight can go wrong because you still have like only like 2 HP, and he's still like hitting you really fast sometimes, and you still don't want his super attack to appear because it's tough to skip.
Yeah, and also.
But first phase is free.
And the fourth phase, yeah, it's kind of free, but if you die at the fourth phase, you get sent back to the tree without the option to respawn, so it can go really bad if you miss at the last point.
Yeah. So Karim is on phase 2. Oh, he got the perfect pattern.
Nice.
So he tanks it so that he can finish this one faster. Now it's time for phase 3 where there is like 2 Varams. You want to damage as much as possible, then you put a shadow, then you teleport back and you try to finish it like in 1 cycle. Antoine, finish this. Okay, it's fine. It was like only 1 hit. Right, get ready on time for Karim, hopefully. Because you never know what can happen because 1 hit and he's dead. Let's see. Oh, he got the super attack, that's slow. Oh, but
Nice.
Antoine also
Nice
got his
cancel.
super attack, but yeah, Karim was able to cancel it. Oh, but then he got this attack that is really slow.
Yeah, it's a really annoying one. And almost time for Karim.
So get ready on time. Yeah.
Time.
GG. That's a 55-38 IGT.
Yeah. Oh my god, this is gonna be so close.
Antoine.
Oh my god, this is so close.
Oh my god, 27. If he gets a 1 cycle. If he gets a 1 cycle, he can maybe do it. He did not.
Super attack.
Karim
Oh my
won.
god, that was so close.
Karim will
And
win. Get ready on time for Antoine.
Ooh,
Time.
542.
That was
4
so
seconds.
close. Oh my god.
Wow.
4
That
seconds.
was incredibly close. Oh my god.
Oh my god, yeah. Talks about the skill of both runners.
Wow.
honestly.
Yeah. That's amazing, guys.
Oh my god, my heart is beating so fast.
Wow.
Holy.
GG's for
It was
both.
so close, GG.
Yeah, no, that
GG,
King
Antoine.
Darius fight changed everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It did change everything.
Antoine.
Oh my god.
Antoine.
4 seconds.
Antoine took a really huge lead, especially with my deaths in the depths. I'm not sure if Antoine died at any point in the run. You guys can correct me on that.
Yeah, he did.
That's a,
He did die, but most importantly, he died at the end of Darius.
Yeah,
Yeah.
last hit.
Yeah.
May you bring the seeds
there he is.
So that was like huge.
Persia.
Darius is such a good
I
obstacle.
just want to say, like, just to tell you about how amazing these 2 runners are. Even with a big death for each of them, they are still as fast as my PB.
Which,
And I'm 3rd place.
Which is third
so
place,
when we
yeah.
told you that we will bring you, yes, when we told you like we are bringing you like the best 2, we were not kidding. With a big death, they are still that fast. That's amazing. Wow.
That was genuinely incredible. Thank you so much for treating us to that race. What a good race.
That was crazy.
Do y'all have any shout-outs that you'd like to make as we wrap up the showcase and before we move into the final run of the show?
Well, let's go by order. Antoine, do you have anything anyone you want to shout out? Anything you want to add?
I want to thank Eraser for the invitation and GG for all speedrun Prince of Persia The Lost Crown community for all discoveries and all technique for make this game a good speedrun. And that's all.
Thank you. Karim?
I want to thank like everyone involved in this run, all the Prince of Persia community. I want to thank Eraser for organizing this, and I want to thank GDQ and Amber for hosting us and the Passion Project. It was really an honor.
Of course.
And I'm so glad to be here. And yeah, that's it. Moving on to Wamba.
Hello. Nothing that hasn't been said already. Like, thanks for the space. Thanks, Eraser, for organizing this. And thanks, Amber, for accepting our presence in this place, and GDQ. And
more than happy.
Big shout outs to Prince of Persia community, especially Lost Crown. There's been a lot of progress throughout the entire last year. Big shout outs to Ensalado for finding a lot of crazy stuff in the past year that pretty much made Unrestricted from being an awful run, a nice run. It's the whole speedrun of the game is in a really good spot right now if anyone wants to learn it. And yeah, we have tools in the Discord if anyone is interested, and info in speedrun.com. Nothing much to say, I guess. Hope you enjoyed it.
Now for the moderator of the
Eraser, how about
categories.
yourself?
Yeah.
I guess, yeah. So yeah, thanks a lot, Amber and Passion Project to have accepted us for this showcase. That was really cool to prepare for. That game was the first Prince of Persia in 14 years. So it's really dear to my heart and to a lot of Prince of Persia fans, I'm sure. And so it's also the first game that was released, the first pop game that was released since the creation of the speedrun community 10 years ago. So that's also why it was such a big deal for us, and why I'm really happy that we could showcase it when it got released, and we could showcase today how incredible all the main category are. And we still have multiple stuff. We have all overworld bosses of all collectible and quests, which is kind of 100% without grinding for money. We still have a lot of category to explore. So if you are interested in anything, don't hesitate to check it out. So shout outs also to all the runners involved here, Antoine, Juanba, and Karim for going with my ID. And shout outs to people that are also involved in researching, and also JMP, Eric, Ensalado. I'm sure I'm forgetting someone. Sorry, but yeah, there is a lot of people that are working behind the scene, even though they are not at the level that you could see Karim and Antoine, for example. But they still work a lot on this one to make it a good speedrun, because this game was not a good speedrun last summer. Last summer, it was awful in both categories. But from last September, there was a lot of work done to make the run faster, more consistent, and better. So yeah, so shout outs to everyone that was involved in it. And that was a pleasure. And don't hesitate to join our server, or even anyone here that is streaming. Some of us don't stream as much, but for example, Antoine is streaming a lot. Karim is streaming when he's out of school. So yeah, don't hesitate to follow them. And thanks a lot. That was great.
Yeah, thank you again for offering this showcase. And showcases like this don't exist without communities like you, and shows like this don't get to happen without viewers like you. And your support here on the GDQ Twitch channel does help support Games Done Quick Hotfix. So that includes your subs, your Prime Gaming subs, your gift subs, and your bits that are cheered here on the GDQ Twitch channel. So if you enjoyed the watching speedruns and you enjoy content like this, consider subscribing to the channel and you'll get access to our emotes, have ad-free viewing, and chat. Hello everyone, welcome back to episode 42 of Passion Project, the best place on Twitch to show the world what you love the most in speedrunning and gaming. My name is Amber Cyprin. We just wrapped up our 1 year later Prince of Persia, the Lost Crown series, which if you didn't see that, you should go back, wait for the end of this next run. This next run's gonna be great, and then we're gonna do a replay of both shows. It'll be great. And you can go see that showcase. But we are joined by Silver and Shovelclaws, showcasing this really, really awesome indie game called Vivid Lope, and it's going to be the any % items category. So, thank you all both. Thank you both for being here tonight. I swear I can English. How are you doing?
I am doing fantastic. I'm glad to be here.
I'm just excited to show this really cool indie game that very few people have heard of. Honestly, I don't run this game, but I'm excited either way.
Shovel has been my hype person, so it's here to really hype me up.
Exactly. I'm glad you caught on.
Yeah, if you want an indie game hype person, like that's gonna be Shovelclaws. It is here for it.
All right. You want to explain what this is, Silver?
Yeah, so first off, I am MHF Silver. People just call me Silver because it's easier. This is Vivid Lope, any % items. I just want to specify right off the bat some things since the run is going to be a little bit loaded with information. The category items refers to a special menu where you get access to, and that is the main thing, is this run will use that menu, and that's the most important thing. Everything else we'll explain once we actually get into it.
Yeah.
So
the items in this game make this run a lot faster. So.
Oh yes, there is right now between the items and itemless category, there's a 20-minute discrepancy. So
it's a lot.
Yeah.
No, but it's a really kind of kick-ass run. Like it just instantly starts going and does not slow down the entire way through. So try to keep up.
Yeah, and we're going to be talking quite a bit because of it. So I hope you're ready to hear us ramble. But I'm going to go ahead.
I'm always here for professional yapping, so I'm here for this.
Alrighty. Well, let me know when you're ready, and I will give a countdown.
You can go for it.
All right. 3, 2, 1, begin. So the very first thing I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to just stand in a corner, and we'll actually explain more as to why that's the case. And this little blue guy here on the right-hand side, he actually wants to talk to us, but we can actually just barely jump over the little box to actually interact with him, and we actually enter the first world. As I get into this first level, the first thing you're going to see me do in every level is I'm actually going to be skipping a little introduction sequence. And that is at the beginning of every single level in this game, it has a little flyover, kind of similar to Super Monkey Ball. But like Super Monkey Ball, I can actually just skip it by just mashing restart. And I will be doing that for basically every single level. And then at the start of it, Super Monkey Ball is fantastic. At the start of every level as well, you'll also see a little box show up at the bottom of the screen. That's the items menu I mentioned. That I access by just pressing select, and that will give me access to a few items depending on how far in the game I am. The main one I'm using is called Max Power, and what that will do, is it will fill up my power gauge that's on the left-hand side of the screen. What's important about that is the farther up it is, the faster I go. And the higher, and when it's over a certain threshold, I can use special abilities specific to the character I'm playing, Miss Noir. And this game features 3 playable characters, with Miss Noir being the fastest for this category because of these special powers she gets access to.
Yeah. To kind of explain the basic gameplay loop as we're going through some of these first kind of beginner-friendly stages, the first world after all, this game is kind of like a mix of Super Monkey Ball and Splatoon. And if you ever played the game Ninja Painter on coolmathgames.com, that's my favorite reference for this game's gameplay loop. Is it's kind of like you're painting a bunch of tiles in order to hit a certain percentage. You'll see that percentage that is required for the stage we're on in the top left-hand corner. So we want to get as fast as possible as many of those tiles painted as we can. And Miss Noor is excellent for that because of her what's the technical name? I know
it is technically called. It's technically called rolling fire, and I do that by pressing the L2 and triangle buttons together. Now, there's actually a funny quirk with that. The L2 button is actually how you just normally walk in this game, and the intent is that you hold L2 and triangle together to use the ability. But by doing that, I actually just make Miss Noir walk, which is not fun. We don't want to walk, but it was actually discovered by one of our community. Yeah, it was discovered by one of our community members. Oop! I accidentally jumped into a death tile. It was discovered by a community member that you can actually work around that. In that, instead of holding L2 and triangle, if you press both of them to initiate it, and then you just start holding triangle instead, you can use L2 to initiate the action itself. Instead of having to hold both of them, you can just instead hold triangle, which doesn't slow you down, and then you can just press L2 to initiate the item. And so we get to actually move a whole lot faster.
Yeah, this game has really fluid movement. That's why I'm such a big fan of it, if you would guess. And that movement tech of being able to throw rolling fire without walking is actually a lot more technical than it seems, because of the way that walking and how holding triangle makes you kind of stay looking in a certain direction. So you'll see here, as Silver throws fire, he's actually going to sidestep and keep walking forward, and that changes your movement a little bit, and it's actually a really hard technique to get down. It's the main reason I haven't run this game yet, is because I just don't have the time to get it down, but this game is surprisingly technical with its movement because of that. It's really cool.
Yeah, what I'm doing is I'm essentially locking the direction that the rolling fire is going to go in. And I referred to it as directional storage. I don't think it's like really a trick. It's just what I call it. But it is basically locking me into strafing in a certain way. And so I want to always initiate it in a direction I'm trying to maintain and go in a straight line in. And that way I can hold one direction to move. But because I've done that directional storage, the game will make me strafe and shoot in one line no matter what direction I'm holding. So I could start, in this case, I could start firing up, but then I can hold down, and as long as I'm still holding the triangle from before, anytime I press L2, Noir will turn to face whatever direction I originally started the rolling fire in, which does come in handy in quite a few levels to very quickly correct which direction I'm facing and just adjust myself to fix where I'm actually like throwing all the fire. And one thing we haven't actually talked about is once I hit the threshold of what we need to complete for a level, the game actually puts us into a bonus phase where it challenges me to actually fill in the rest of the tiles. But I'm using one of Noir's other abilities, which is just to dash to go in a straight line. And I'm going back over tiles I've already changed the color of, because part of that challenge is you have to not step back over tiles you've already filled in. But we want to quickly end the level, so I just dash directly into the the tiles I've already filled in, which will tank my power meter, which will end that bonus phase instantly.
Yeah, there's a lot of like niche micro management of that power meter. You'll see that Silver, if he gets too low, he's going to just pop a max power, but that actually loses a bit of time in the follow-up of it. There's a lot of really minor time saves in this game, which makes it such a cool speedrun that, like, Silver is like the main runner of this game and is pretty dominant at it, but if, more of us got onto it, then it'd be a fiery competition at the top because of it.
This game
is a super impressive run.
It is. Just by looking at it, you would have no idea the nonsense that my fingers are doing right now. It is crazy with what actual amount of stuff you have to do a lot of this stuff I'm doing. As I don't want to say perfect, but as optimal. I think that'd be the best way to put it. Because there is so much that you have to do, so many buttons you have to hold. It was actually Shovel that recommended I start using a controller input display so people can get a real idea of what I'm doing.
Yeah, and Silver streams with that input display pretty often, and sometimes I just look at the controller input display and I'm like, ooh, okay, the fire gameplay.
Yeah, it is whack. I also have some tutorials where I have the controller display as well, so you can really see just how weird things get.
Yeah, no, it's a good run though. But we're into World 4 now, and we have unlocked the bomb power-up. The bomb power-up destroys enemies for us, and that's really convenient for some of the stages routing we're going to route here in the future, because they're going to drop a lot of enemies on us, and that is scary. If you run into an enemy, you'll instantly die. There's one hit KO, but you have a certain amount of lives in the game. So you want to be very careful about actually hitting those enemies. So Silver's gonna play it pretty safe usually and just take them out with a bomb. And it just so happens to be pretty fast as well.
Yeah, and another benefit we'll see a little bit later is the bomb also gives us invulnerability, which I think is a bit funny because the whole thing is it's like a screen clear. So it giving you invulnerability frames is also kind of interesting, but we get to abuse that later. We'll get to use it for a couple of little skips. But yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's used to clear out the screen, as well as in some cases, I will use it instead of a max power, simply because the amount of using the bomb will refill your power gauge based on how many enemies are eliminated by it. So if the screen's got a lot of enemies, I will actually use that instead of a max power to just give myself the power from all the enemies it's getting rid of.
That is actually sick. I did not know that.
And then here we can see invisible tiles. These just appear as you get closer to them. It used to actually be a lot more difficult to tell. The developer actually made it a lot more obvious in recent updates where the invisible tiles were. For us, it doesn't matter because we know exactly where everything's at.
We're also getting introduced now to recursive tiles. So the past few stages have had us have two-step tiles where we need to walk over them twice. The benefit of using rolling fire so much is that it actually instantly clears both steps. So we can just rolling fire each tile and not have to worry about that two-step process. But the problem now is that we're going to get tiles that will clear themselves if we walk over them 3 times, or a second time after we power them up all the way. So that makes rolling fire a little bit harder routing-wise to actually use. Also, one thing we haven't explained yet, kind of funny that we are waiting until now, frankly, because it's a huge deal in the any percent run, is short mode. That's the thing that Silver did at the very start of the run. I know we're 10 minutes in, and I'm sure your brain's overflowing with information about this game. But think back 10 minutes ago. We just walked in a corner for 5 seconds. That activates short mode. Usually in this game, you're required to beat 12 stages, I believe, if I remember correctly.
In the latest version, it ranges. So
okay.
A few worlds have more, some have less.
Right. Instead, on short mode, it only requires 5. It is a huge time save. I believe our first world record that was without it, granted, not the most optimal, but was like 2 hours or something. And then instantly you chopped like 2 hours off because short mode got found. It was very funny to look back on speedrun.com's history page and find that out.
Yeah, the first run was like 2 hours and 40 minutes, and then my first run of the category was 59 minutes, I think, and that was with short mode. So the discovery of it drastically changes everything because we now have to do significantly less levels. At the time, it was 12 per world, but with the most recent updates, they have adjusted it to where now it's kind of a variable amount. So each world has a different amount of levels you need to do. But the short mode still only sets it to only needing 5 at most.
Right.
Well, that explains why you're skipping certain levels in the level select.
Yes, exactly. So we only need to do 5, so we just pick whatever 5 are the fastest. And it's a really interesting routing challenge because occasionally we will get reroutes for levels that we originally didn't include. But then because of the reroute, it's a few seconds faster. We're putting it in the run. And that's happened a few times since I started looking at this game as a speedrun. But it's really cool. It means that this game kind of always keeps you on your toes.
Yeah, I've described it to people as a spreadsheet of a madman. I keep a spreadsheet of all of the stuff I'm doing to route this game, and if you just don't know anything about this and you look at that spreadsheet, you would assume I'm insane. But I think right now
that's how you know it's a good speed run.
I think now would be a perfect time if you wanted to share some announcements.
Yeah, I just want to ask everyone out there, are you enjoying yourselves? Do you happen to be a streamer with a community that loves to support charitable causes? You can apply to become an SGDQ ambassador. You can join our group of creators that will be raising money for Doctors Without Borders this upcoming June. Selected streamers will raise money for the charity and have the chance to attend the event as guests of GDQ and MSF. Use !SGDQ ambassadors in chat for more information and apply by April 27th. That's coming up very soon, so make sure if you are interested, you apply. You do not need to be a speedrunner, and it is also an international opportunity. So, if you are not a speedrunner but you like supporting charity, consider applying to the ambassador program.
Ooh, I'm so excited for SGDQ.
Me too.
We're into a World 5 now. This world actually introduces ice physics, my favorite. We're gonna start having these tiles that are ice, but I actually don't... do we see any in World 5? I actually don't remember if we do or not.
Yeah, we actually see it for a couple levels. The final level is where we're going to see it the most. One of the nice things is oftentimes in games where you have these ice physics, people despise them because it just makes controlling things a whole lot harder. The nice thing we get from this is that the ice physics actually apply to the rolling fire I'm using as well. And there's a level the next level we're going to do, we actually get to make good use of that, where I just get to spam and let the ice physics send all of my stuff flying and just paint everything for me.
Also didn't know that. That's awesome.
And then you might have noticed...
I'm not the runner here.
You may have noticed...
keep learning new things.
Over the course of this, you're probably thinking like, oh, and this is what I'm talking about. I just get to spam here, and it's going to follow all the ice physics. You would probably imagine by looking at this, oh, because of how powerful this rolling fire stuff is, surely I'm only going for levels that have straight lines. And while that is true, a lot of what we're doing are focusing on levels that have mostly straight lines. It is still like, we still have to figure out, because not everything is going to have a straight line. But with the combination of the rolling fire and the dash that we can do, the straight lines are the most effective way to do it. And very soon, we're going to start pivoting to levels that have very different level design. After this world, we unlock... The whole time we've been progressing through the game, we've actually been unlocking more items. You may have noticed as I open the items menu, there's more entries in there that I'm just not touching. That's because most of them aren't very useful for us right now. Plus, one of the downsides to playing Miss Noir is that she technically gets less item uses out of all of the characters. So there's two other characters we can play as, Cerise and Acrew, who are the actual main characters. One thing we did not mention is Miss Noir is technically the antagonist. We are technically playing the villain of the game. And one of her downsides is her item usage count is lower than Cerise or Acrew. So if I were to use any of these other items, I would have very minimal amounts of uses of them compared to those two characters. And so because of that, they just simply aren't really that useful for us. Because the time that it would take to equip them and use them, we waste more time because we have to spend more time menuing to equip more of them.
See, all of these like weird micro decisions that you make during this run are all so interesting. Oh, I love this speed game.
And this is where we're going to abuse the bomb iframes I mentioned earlier. So these pink tiles,
yes, I love this level.
We can actually just walk over these pink tiles after using a bomb. This level is actually one of the few levels in the game where it forces us to take a certain item called Super Jump. But Super Jump is something we can't actually unequip once we have it. And we don't want that. We don't want to use an item that we're forced into, especially since it's slow. So what we can do is we can just use Bomb to just dash over these death tiles and completely skip having to use it.
It's genius. I don't know.
Yeah,
like,
it's very interesting use of the game's mechanics, and that's one of the if that was a slight design, if there was a small design difference where the bomb did not give you iframes, that whole strategy would not work at all, and we'd be forced to using super jump.
Yeah. If you're an FPS runner, this analogy will make a lot more sense to you. And if you're not, I'm sorry. But I like to call this game the Titanfall 2 of puzzle game speedruns, because, like, it should not be as cool as it is. But, like, it just so happens to have those weird quirks in its movement and its item usage that, like, it ends up being hype. Like, low-key, the no-walk rolling fire throws that Silver's been doing the whole run, and, like, they're hard. Are low-key, like, this game's crouch kicks? I don't know if this analogy makes sense to people, but, like, it's so cool. Like, this game rocks. Oh my god, go play it.
Yeah, it is definitely worth checking out. It is on Steam and Switch. One thing I did just use in that level was at the beginning, I used the bomb to give myself invulnerability frames again, and then I just dashed through a bunch of tiles that were supposed to kill me. It's supposed to be this like whole timing thing where you're supposed to jump over the death tiles as they change to safe or not safe. Instead, I just used the bomb to give myself iframes so I can dash through them. But here in World 8 is where we get the most busted item the entire game, and the thing that will pivot our level choices, and that is the paint burst. And now, at least for these couple levels, I'm not going to be spamming as much max power, because this paint burst item, as you can tell right now, it is filling quite a bit of stuff for me. It is making it a cakewalk, and I have to only use a couple of them, and that whole level is completed. The paint burst is just a giant, like, star shape, sort of, and it just fills in around you. So now what we do is we're pivoting to some levels that are more open and have, like, large spaces to get the most use out of the paint burst. And so now I'm mostly using the max power, more so for the speed boost than the actual rolling fire. So you'll see that now going forward, some of the levels we're going to choose, especially in the next world, are just going to be massive because of how much ground this covers for us. And then here we get some like little light bulbs that the whole gimmick of these little light bulbs is they're going to like turn off and on the tiles around them. We get to just ignore it because the paint burst will just go through the little light bulbs.
Yeah, mighty convenient.
Yep. And so here we're going to get introduced to the landmine tiles. We want to avoid these guys as much as possible. They're hidden unless you approach them, and they activate a sort of like slow-mo effect that was added as a feature to like catch yourself. If you're at a point where your power meter is low enough to where the next encounter with something is going to kill you, the game will give you a small bit of time to correct your direction. And the landmines, since they will kill you instantly no matter what, will always put us in that slow-mo state. So we want to never be close to one of them because of that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's big Pac-Man Championship Edition vibes there with the bullet time, like prior to making contact with something that'll harm you.
Yeah.
I get it.
It'll also happen in the bonus phase. If we are so low on power that we are gonna die from walking over a tile, in the bonus phase it'll put us in that same slow-mo. So that's why we want to always have at least enough power so that we can dash to instantly end the bonus phase. And so now we're going to enter World 9. And one thing, I mean, we touched on a little bit earlier, the character we're playing is technically the villain this whole time. And at the beginning of every world, there's this little cutscene I've been skipping that's actually supposed to be a bit of the lore. And here it drastically changes with that cutscene where it implies something else just happened. Shovel, do you want to explain what's going on?
Oh god, I don't know the lore of this game, man. I skipped all the cutscenes.
Oh, well, then I'll go over it. So basically, as we are playing Miss Noir, the antagonist of this game, the whole world that we're playing in is basically a game created by Miss Noir. And as you play through the game, it's telling her story as to why she did this. And it's a bunch of little cutscenes where it tells about what she did as in like the normal world, talks about how she was a teacher and fell in love with this guy. And then as you progress, you find out that something nefarious is happening. And then ultimately Miss Noir finds out that the guy she had a crush on was cheating on her. And so the cutscene going into World 9 here is basically her realizing that. And so now it sort of paints a picture as to why Miss Nor is creating this world. And it's mostly in like grief and despair and hatred for people in love.
I didn't know this game had a real story. Oh god, I feel so bad.
Just gives you an excuse to replay it with the cutscenes.
Yeah, that's true. I should do that. Actually thinking about it. But yeah, World 9 is the one before the finale world, right? I think.
Yep. This is the second to last world.
Yeah, the finale world changes quite a lot of the gameplay loop, because in the finale world, you'll see once we get there, of course, but you actually have to paint every tile. So, and it's kind of this stage rush where you're given tasks to beat these stages one by one by one by one. You have no choice anymore, and it's a really cool way to switch things up. I am a big fan of this game's last split.
Yeah, it is basically a gauntlet of just levels back to back to back, and it does change up some things. One of the big things that we'll see that's very different to how I'm doing every single level is the final world is treated as one giant level. And so as I've been doing all these levels, and I've been doing this level little skip intro thing, in the final world, if I were to do that again, it would actually reset me back to the first level. And so instead, what I would be doing is I'm actually going to be speeding up the cutscene instead of completely skipping it, so I don't accidentally just reset myself.
I feel like I accidentally did that once while trying to practice this game's like movement, and the despair on my face, it hurt.
And then just like at the beginning, we have this little guy who wants to talk to us. We can just barely jump over him as well. I've actually reset here on world record pace once.
Ooh.
And it crushed me. So the rules change now. As Shovel mentioned, now every level must be 100% completed. And now we actually start with max power, with the goal being we are not allowed to lose power. So if I were to get no power, I would game over. And so I have to maintain power.
The other thing that's really important in Finale here is that our power will actually carry on with us to the next world, I believe. So it means that we have to be even more careful just outside of, we have to, route this stage and not run out of power. We have to additionally keep in mind that we're going to impact our next world or our next stage's actions.
Yeah, and a lot of these levels are, as you would expect from like the final in the game, it's supposed to be like really testing your abilities and stuff. And some of these levels are actually designed more as like puzzles where there really is a correct way to go. And since we're trying to obviously minimize how much backtracking we're doing, all of these levels, I have figured out the exact path that I need to go through to make sure I don't walk back over stuff. And then in like stuff like this level makes perfect use of the paint burst because I can just walk in a straight line and just paint burst and fill in everything for me. The thing I have to really be careful for is these little pink orbs that are flying around. These can just one-tap me. And especially around these corners, I got to be very careful because I have just unknowingly walked into these and died before.
Yeah, no, it's tough. These levels are all really hard on your casual playthrough too, just because of the added, you can't run out of power. It becomes this huge gauntlet of real puzzle design. And I say that kind of lightly because this game does a really good job with the puzzle design, but it becomes a task where you have to think ahead on what you're actually doing. It makes for a great part of the speed run too. It's really cool.
Fortunate.
Those jump pads will send you in one of the 8 directional inputs, and you can be really scary on this level because you can just get flung into the void if you're not careful.
Yeah, it gives you a bit of time to correct where you're going to move, but some of these, it's very, there's not a whole lot of direction you can hold to keep safe. Oh, I missed some tiles somewhere.
I think you missed some at the top.
I missed some. Where is I missing?
We gotta search. Oh no, unlucky.
Not too bad.
Yeah, and that's another thing that can happen with rolling fire is, see, I have the stream up on my other monitor. The rolling fire literally just went diagonally, so you end up missing the tiles in the center there.
Yeah.
And,
That can
especially on these
happen.
stages,
Yeah.
like, it's pretty tough.
It is a lot of like, because I have to hold the directions to initiate it, like mentioned earlier, there are some times where I think it's mostly my D-pad. I'm not going to admit to it being a skill issue. I will blame the hardware. I will say that it is, there are some times where it just holds a diagonal angle, which is not good for us. We want it to always be in a straight line. So when it gets to those moments where it's mistakenly doing a diagonal, I have to always stop and correct it. And because I mentioned before, when I start holding triangle, it stores that direction. It means I have to let go of triangle and reinitiate the whole rolling fire process again, which if I have to correct my angle like that, it's just another couple seconds wasted. And for every time that I use the rolling fire with that misdirection, that's power wasted as well, which means it's another max power I have to use, which means it's another menu I have to use, which is now just more wasted time. So it's always...
The boulder is falling down the hill. It's over.
Yeah, it's very, very taxing. And now we're entering the very last level, which is just a cube. So we get to make use of the paint burst to very quickly fill in this cube. So get ready with time.
You can also see that the paint burst is on 13 charges now. Kind of scary, but it'll be okay.
Yeah.
We use a lot of them through this run.
Yeah, this is by far the item that gets used the most. And, oh, I missed some. And
corners.
time.
GG.
So now
That was
I will...
a really good run.
Yeah, it was not bad. I'm going to let this ending play out so we can see what transpires here. But basically, now that this is Miss Noir's test run of everything before she gets the main character, Cerise and A-Crew involved.
Also, just want to say thank you for offering this game, because this game has big, like, cute choo-choo rocket vibes in its aesthetic.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, it is.
I love
this game. It is an understatement as to how much I love this game. All it takes, I think right now, I posted about it on Blue Sky a while ago. All you need to know about my love for this game is to look at my speedrun.com page on the right-hand side where it has runs, a number of runs. Vivid Lope, I think, is on 84 runs, and the second place is 9. So this game has definitely, by far, become my main speed game and has been the thing I have spent the better part of almost 2 years now. It came out in May 2023. For almost 2 years, it has been the main thing I've been sinking my time into. And it's been an amazing ride. The developer of this game is fantastic. He's even joined our Discord and has helped me address issues in past versions of the games because of all of the stuff I was doing, like all the inputs and items and game like stuff happening at the same time. I would constantly crash. And so he would take every bit of crash log I'd give him, and he'd be like, all right, I'm working on this tonight. I'll have the hotfix out tomorrow. And anytime I came into a crash, he was immediately like, give me the crash log. I'll go fix it right now.
Wow, you love a supportive developer out here for indie titles and the speedrun community. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, fantastic developer, has put in a lot of time into this, and has made a genuinely fantastic game. And it is, I think it's only $10. So it is absolutely worth the $10. This is my second most played game on Steam now. The only thing that this is losing to is a Monster Hunter game, which is where my name comes from. So, but
yeah, and this game, I just, there's also a free demo that you can play. So like literally just go download it and try it out if you are afraid to spend $10, which I get it, but like it's pretty cheap. And I have, it took me 8 hours to get through this game casually. You're getting your money's worth.
Absolutely.
And it is,
there are a ton of stages.
There are tons of stages. The most recent update added an entire extra 15 levels to the game. There's you can play on hard mode, which just amps the amount of enemies that are spawning. So if you do find the game is too easy, just play on hard mode. And then if you do find it to be a little tricky after that, you can just use items like I've been doing. For me, I think the first playthrough I did, I finished everything in 13 hours. And then right now I have the world record for all stages, which is just at like 2 hours and 15 minutes, I think. So even going fast, it still takes me a couple hours to do every level in this game. But it is absolutely worth it, 100%. I will say that some of the achievements get a little tricky. So if you're the type of person that loves to go for all the achievements in a game, and you want to spend time in something that will push you, this game's achievements will absolutely push you.
All right. Do you have any? The two of you have any other shout outs you want to make?
Follow Silver on Twitch.
Yeah.
Definitely go follow Silver on Twitch.
I do want to thank Shovel for jumping in. Like I said, they have been my my hype person. It keeps joining my streams to hype me up. It was always in Discord, always responding to every post of mine with like a flame emoji. So it's definitely been a hype person for me. I want to thank everybody who's been in the Vivid Loop speedrunning Discord. Everybody, we've got quite a few people that hang out in there just to chat and see what we're working on. Anybody who's watching from the casual Vivid Loop Discord server, there's a lot of people in there that hang out and chill. Thank, of course, to the developer for all their support. And I've also, if you want to join me in crossing my fingers, I did submit this for SGDQ. So you can join me in crossing our fingers for next week and see if it makes it in. If not, totally cool. I'm going to SGDQ anyway. So.
Hell yeah. As for me, my only shout out is to go speedrun indie games. There's a really vast world out there, and Vivid Loop is one of many that you can choose from. Trust me, I'm not a hype person because I just think Silver is cool. This game is just really sick. Silver is cool, but this game is really sick. I do want to pick it up eventually, but I've been busy. You can follow me on Twitch if you want to. I don't care. Go play this game. It's really sick. It completely flew under the radar. It released 2 years ago now.
Yep.
Cool indie games like this just exist out there in the world, and you can go play it. Isn't that we live in such a wonderful time for video games?
If you are interested in learning this, speedrun.com/vividlope, I have an hour-long tutorial on how to do this exact category. So if you're interested in learning it and have played this game, you can sit down and listen to me ramble for an hour on how to do all of this.
Yeah, it's a very helpful tutorial. I've started watching it recently, just very casually. But I think that's it from us. Unless Silver, you have anything you want to add at the end?
No, I think that is it for me.
Thanks, Amber, for having us.
Yeah, thank you so much.
We forgot to say that.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you absolutely so much.
Well, thank you both for being here and for submitting this run. This has been really fun. And I just remind you all, the SGDQ Games List does drop on May 1st. So fingers crossed for those who submitted for good news. And GDQ's AAPI celebration will be on May 3rd and the 4th. So you could celebrate AAPI Heritage Month with a weekend full of Asian and Pacific Islander speedrunners. Use exclamation point AAPI in chat for more information. And thank you for being here tonight, and please look after yourselves and your loved ones. Drink some water, stretch your legs, eat a snack, take your medicine or your vitamins if you need to, and remember that you are valid and deserve the best, and the world is a better place with you in it. If you missed out on As Seen on TV or Passion Project, stay tuned as we replay both shows after this, and tune in this weekend for a Doom Eternal speedrun special starting both Saturday and Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern. I will see you all on the other side, and actually I will not be back until May 15th with some more Passion Project. That is a Thursday. It's not our normal Friday. So that'll be Thursday, May 15th at 10 p.m. Eastern because I